Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Drachmae and Demigods. I am Sammy Ferber, and I'll be your host for the evening. Welcome back to the Links of Tartarus campaign, Season 2, Episode 20, I believe, is tonight, which is crazy. Thank you for joining us. If you're new, welcome. All of our previous episodes are available on our YouTube channel for you to watch, to catch up. But you're here now, so let's get you up to speed. So, previously on the Links of Tartarus. The Hands of Fate, with their allies in the Society of the Hundred Hands, came up with a potential idea in the lead up to God's Sight Day. In order to combat whatever dark plans Hecate has in store, what if they could convince the gods to let them attend the Grand Council on behalf of the peoples of Gaia? And while there, maybe they could pitch a different end to this coming war. Not with the gods losing or with the titans losing, but more of a shared rule type of deal. So everyone asked their godly parents, and those who responded were mixed on the concept. But at the very least, they all seemed to agree that none of it would matter unless Zeus decided that they could come to Olympus for the Grand Council in the first place. Good thing they have a pair of Zeusian demigods in their ranks. They were able to convince Zeus to give them at least a chance to prove themselves worthy of attendance at the meeting by completing a test he had set for them. And so, all of them transported to an ancient, ruined temple of Kronos in the middle of the divine battlefield. On the steps of this temple was a pack of draconic aberrations, like a mix between dragons and beholders. They proved fearsome foes, but the Hands of Fate and their allies are fearsome too. They managed to hold the monsters off long enough to get past them into the temple before closing the doors on them. Inside, they found a complex riddle telling the story of three brothers hoping to achieve glory in the eyes of the Titans. After spending a chunk of time working on the puzzle, determining the correct places to put their spikes, they solved it by figuring out the lesson of the riddle, that Kronos believed no mortal worthy of the glory of the Titans. Completing the puzzle allowed everyone to move forward into the temple proper, but they found it already occupied, as a beholder had taken up residence in this abandoned place. They fought, and in the middle of the fight, Adagio had a vision. He heard the voice of the Oracle, and words from her first prophecy, one that spoke of one of each Olympian being present for the ultimate fight. He saw two potential futures play out in front of him. One where Dardania, daughter of Zeus, was killed by the Beholder, and one where Iasus, her twin brother, was killed instead. Ultimately, Adagio decided to let Iasus sacrifice himself to protect his sister. And once the battle was over, and the Beholder was defeated, the party gathered together to revivify him back to life. But in Adagio's head, he heard Phoebe remind him that this would only delay the inevitable, that one of them would die before the end. But that tragedy is for another day. Once Iasus had been brought back, Ryujin discovered a box with the seal of Zeus on it. He opened it and found a simple button inside. Without a second thought, he pressed it and promptly disappeared from view. The rest of his allies took a chunk of time to heal up before joining him, which is where we left off. So, Ryujin, you press this button and you immediately feel yourself transport somewhere else. It's very similar to the feeling you get when you use your helm of teleportation. You arrive in this place in complete darkness. But then as your feet touch this cold stone floor, torches light up around you, and you slowly adjust to this dim light. And you see a square, medium-sized room in front of you. Directly in front of you is a podium with a sealed scroll sitting on it. On either side of the podium is a set of stairs, only about 3 or 4 stairs, it's nothing crazy, and about 3 or 4 feet beneath this level that you're on is a flat stone floor, featureless beyond the torches on the walls. But you see on the ceiling a circle of arcane runes that are glowing with magical energy. And in the center of this floor, spaced out about 10 feet from each other, are 5 bound figures. They look to be different races, different genders, but there's a few things they have in common. They're all dressed in the equivalent of what would be sort of underclothes, whether it's a slip or a dirtied shirt and some sort of shorts, something like that. They're not wearing any armor or any sort of identifying features or anything like that. They are all blindfolded. They're all gagged. Their hands are bound in front of them, and each of their legs is chained to the floor. What would you like to do?
It was plain. Okay, so can I make an Arcana check on the sigil above?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Also, if you hear my dog whining, I apologize. Let me know, and I will mute myself in between.
That's totally fine.
Ow! First roll, and it's a nat 1.
Nat 1.
Awesome.
It's a tall enough ceiling that you can't quite get a good look at it. Something about it seems familiar to you, but you just can't quite place where you might have seen something like this before.
I'm gonna throw up detect magic and just look around quickly.
Okay, you detect magic. You sense a magical sort of aura circling this entire room, but specifically only that lower part of it. So the place where you are currently, you don't sense any sort of magical energy all the way up through that podium in front of you. But as soon as you would descend down those stairs where the figures are bound, that entire area is covered in a sort of enchantment magic.
Oh, and the sigil is above them, right?
Correct, yes.
So
whatever that, it does seem to be originating from that sort of circle of runes, and it seems to be emanating some sort of enchantment magic around them.
What, I guess, would they look familiar? What, I guess...
The people?
Yeah.
Looking at them, you have not seen any of these people before. I mean, you've seen these races, like, and there's a couple humans, you've seen elf, a gnome, and a triton as well. But none of them look familiar to you. But I will say, as you're looking around, you see that the scroll on this podium is sealed with a symbol of Zeus.
How long did you guys wait before?
At least 30 seconds before anyone's gonna show up.
Okay, I'll just take in the sights and not do anything impulsive this time. I'm gonna just sit cross-legged on the ground and hang out until someone else is here. I don't believe I'm intellectually adept to make this decision on what to do.
Okay, so you take it in, you cast your spell, and then it's just silence as you wait, and you can hear the sort of clanking of metal as these people are sort of standing, and slight adjustments make their leg restraints move before a few seconds later you hear a pop behind you and Adagio appears behind you.
Well, hello! I've been waiting here for 76 years.
You're muted,
can I say, in the time that I was waiting, can I actually disguise myself? Make myself look really old?
Sure.
Where have you been, Adagio? It's been so long.
We'll look around.
Where's everybody else?
Time dilation.
I'll just stand up really
How
weakly
old will I
on my
be?
trident.
Black Regent, I'm so sorry. I should have come sooner.
I've been
Why did I let you
alone
press
for
that button?
60 years.
60 years. Let me put you out of my misery. You're not useful to the party anymore.
Oh no.
How likely do I see through his disguise?
Make an Arcana check.
I mean, it's a disguise kit, so I would have to...
Oh, so
We'll
you would have
see
spent
how
your
that
30 seconds doing that. So in that case, make a perception check.
Let's find out what I add to perception. Oh, perception
If
is
anything,
a
I
plus
rolled
7.
10 for it, so it's not
I wrote
great.
a 12, so I have a 19 in total.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Ryujin put on disguises before. You can see where it's not perfectly blended.
I'm gonna take out a dagger and be like, let me put you out of your misery.
Oh, that's okay. I'm quite well.
I don't think Zeus has much use for you at this age.
At this point, other party members begin to pop into existence behind you.
As I'm
They
trying
just
to
get
murder
Dashio
old
coming at me
Regent.
from
Yeah.
that.
After about 15 or so seconds, your entire party and all of the other demigods that are with you are all now in this space with you.
I
they
thought
came
the other
to-
demigods were staying behind.
Cora suggested that, and everyone said, no, that's fucking dumb.
I'm
Oh,
weak.
I thought we agreed on that.
Yeah, I'll take off the
I
A
disguise.
bunch of
wanted
the other
them.
demigods went.
They
okay.
changed
Oh,
their
I'm a
mind.
fucking idiot then. My bad. I wrote that down wrong last week.
I'll say right off the bat, I'm not sure what those sigils are. I mean, I can take another look. Can I check again to see if
What are they
with the
look
help of
like? Are
everyone
they,
else,
what
I
are they,
can
like arcane?
see, or- I don't
Godly?
know.
Yeah,
Black?
they're arcane runes. I will say once other people are here to help you, I'll say you can roll again with advantage, but it is a higher DC.
I'll cast guidance on you for this.
You got it.
and yes, manage. And what's guidance?
Plus
Do I
D4.
roll the d4 or does he roll the d4?
You can roll a d4, Nora.
Alright. That's a 4!
Ayo.
Oh, so 19 total.
19. So, Cora comes and looks with you, and she goes, "Oh, it should look familiar. I've seen this quite a lot, and I believe you have too. It looks very similar to what's above the war room in Sunbrow Manor.
The zone of truth.
Looks like a magnified version, yes."
How would I not recognize it?
And does anyone recognize? So there's a
What the fuck?
scroll. It's got Zeus's like wax seal on it. I haven't
Is it-
touched it. And there's some individuals here. I wanted to wait for everyone else to get here before I did anything.
Did you
so
say
I
they
have my
were
personal-
gagged? Are they
Yes,
gagged?
they
Fine.
Or-
yes, they have a cloth over their eyes and another cloth in their mouths. They don't seem to be actively struggling, but it certainly doesn't look comfortable.
Can they
Should
hear
we-
us?
Oh, wait.
Sure, yeah.
Should we read the scroll first, or like question them?
They can nod up and down,
There.
I mean, do they speak common?
but they can't speak.
I'm gonna be like, y'all speak common?
They're gagged.
You just,
And they can nod.
Oh,
see
that's
him go,
true. That's true.
Yes or no?
I just said that.
Golly, I was like, what do you mean?
Yes.
We just
Do we look at
I
the
don't know
scroll?
why I thought they needed to answer in common.
okay, but like, is this like a trap? Like, if one of us grabs that scroll, you think we're like trapped in like a zone of like truth?
I mean, what would be the worst thing about being trapped in a zone of truth?
I mean, for those of us who are hiding something, probably the worst. Cora, you go.
Who's hiding something?
Hey,
I don't know. I'm
Are
not
you
hiding
hiding
anything.
something, Adagio?
Nothing. I would never hide anything. I'll walk up to the podium.
Nothing
I'll look at it
happens.
before. I'm not touching it though. I want to like.
I'm gonna like wait.
Looking at it looks like a rolled up piece of parchment sealed with Zeus's symbol.
Can I look for traps around it?
Isis? Maybe.
Make
one
a
of you?
perception check, Nora.
Okay.
Or investigation, depending on how you're doing this.
Dardanian?
I don't
Isis?
honestly know
Maybe-
what the difference would be.
If you want
Investigation would be like if you're closely inspecting it and seeing something, or perception is a bit more taking a little bit further step, seeing the bigger picture.
Oh, I want to thoroughly investigate it. Like
All right.
look at this from all angles.
Investigation check.
Okay. That's a 12, and I have a +8 originally, so it's a 12 in total.
All right.
I'm at 4.
I will say nothing appears trapped to you. Looking closely at it, still without touching it, it does look like there's something inside the scroll, like the rolled up scroll. But it doesn't look like it's something that will activate a trap or something when you open it. But it does look like there's something inside.
I'm gonna turn to Ilme. You're the perceptive person. What does that look like in there?
I mean, does my passive give me anything?
Yeah. From the angle that you can see, it looks like what you're looking at is maybe a circle of metal.
Okay, I'm opening this thing.
Okay, you break the seal.
Mm-hmm.
You break the seal and unfurl the scroll, and you hear something metallic clatter to the ground. Looking down at it, it looks like a dagger. On the scroll itself is a message written in Celestial.
Oh, frick, I can't read this.
I'll read it. I'm sitting right there.
I'll read it.
Nearly all the demigods circle around you to read it.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
not even a demigod. Let's go.
Yeah. But it reads this. You've done well, but there's one final lesson you must prove you've learned. One, and only one, of the people before you must die. Ask what you will, then speak your reasoning aloud and make your decision. Choose correctly, or meet the same fate.
Can I?
Zeus.
I want to take the blindfold. No, I want to take the gag off of the Triton.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to take the gag off of all of them. I'm just
Yeah.
Okay.
gonna. Yeah.
They
but
all
I wanna
sort
ask
of whisper thank yous as you do.
I want to ask the Triton. I'll just ask everybody. Why am I targeting the Triton? Who are you all? What are your names? What do you do? What have you done?
Oh,
The fir-
wait.
That's a lot of
one question at a time.
One question at a time. And this is a zone of truth for a reason. I'll
Yeah.
put them under the zone of truth.
They're
Are they
they're
already
under
in it?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
in
they
it.
are?
Yeah,
How
You
big
they're
is
in
it?
it.
really want to
Zone of truth.
humanize them?
It's a huge. It like takes up almost the entire ceiling.
Wow, all of us, so I can't lie.
No, it only goes to that area. I mean, now Ryujin's in it because Ryujin went down there, but you guys are sort of on a
I mean, I'll
separate
go
little
back.
podium.
Okay.
We're gonna
So,
have to
what's
kill
your
one
first
left
question,
back
Ryujin?
in.
Who are you?
The person all the way on the left-hand side is a male human, tan skin, square-jawed, brown hair falling to his shoulders, muscular. He's an attractive-looking guy. My name is Darren. They call me Darren Ramshead. Next to him is an elderly elven woman, wrinkled features, thin frame, long, thin white hair, sort of draping behind her. My name is Talila Anvil. The third one is the gnome. It's a gnomish man. He's got a sort of bulbous nose, a mess of thin blonde hair. Aye, they call me Wolby. And the fourth is a human woman. Early 20s, probably around the age of most of the people in this room. Beautiful flowing red hair, demure features. She's very attractive. My name's Sophia. And then finally, the Triton. He looks maybe around the same age as that first human. He's like maybe mid-30s or so. A thin frame, but a muscular frame, a toned frame, with the blue skin and the green hair of a Triton tied behind, like in a bun. I've gone by many names, but most know me as Moontide.
Why? What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Me.
Are you asking that to anyone in particular, or
The
all of them?
Triton.
The Triton?
Yeah.
He sort of looks down. I have done many things that some might consider bad, but I do not consider bad.
Do any of you worship any gods? And if so, which ones?
The Triton speaks first, goes, yes, I am a proud worshipper of the sea god Poseidon. The human
Do I
woman-
see anything like on him to like?
No, I mean, most of their clothing and stuff is
Oh yeah.
taken from them.
Okay.
The human woman says, I've not devoted my life, but I spend much of my time praying to Aphrodite.
Wait, which one was this one?
The
The
human
elven or
woman. Human woman. The human man on the other side goes, Unlike her, I am a devout follower of my god. I've devoted my life to Ares in glory. The elven woman and the gnomish man don't say anything.
Can I point out the two and be like, the two that didn't say anything, do you two not worship any gods?
The gnome goes, I don't worship any gods, not to be sort of blasphemous or whatever, but I just sort of keep my head down and go with the flow. I leave the godliness to others. The elven woman says, none of the gods. No, I do not worship any gods.
You worship something
Does
else?
any of you worship the
gods.
Titans?
I am a very old woman. I've lived nearly a century now. I have worshipped in the past, but nowadays I don't find myself worshipping much at all.
Who did you worship?
She doesn't respond.
Answer the
Okay.
question.
I think there is much more to a person than what god they hitch themselves to. I lived a long life, centuries, just being a woodworker in my town.
Hey, these are
That's
simple questions with simple answers. Don't overcomplicate it. Just answer it. You're the ones that are chained up in a zone of fucking
Truth?
yeah.
I hesitate to answer your question only because it seems that if I say the wrong answer, you'll kill me.
Yeah, but if you say answers, we're less likely to not trust you, which this kind of makes you a little untrustworthy, not answering.
We don't hate the Titan.
If that's what, yeah.
When I was a child, before the Divine War,
So she's
Lee.
Damn.
I thought you said she was a century old.
Damn.
who knows where or when you guys are right now, or where or when she was plucked from. Before the Divine War, my mother would often take us to the Temple of Kronos to wish us for good fortune.
What year was it whenever you were taken?
It is hard to place a year.
What was the last memory you have before coming here?
I was sitting in my home in Denium's Point. My one-time apprentice was reporting to me how the shop had been in my absence.
who was your
His name is Hidaken. Do you know him?
Can I ask around the rest of the party, and including the other people, if
Mhm.
anybody recognizes Demian's Point
Yeah.
as a place?
Denium's Point? Yeah, you guys know Denium's Point. It still exists. It's
Okay.
an elven city in the Zendarian Empire on the northwest coast of Gaia. It's a forested, wooded city. I will say the most you would have heard of Denium's Point as a layman, without any connections to Denium's Point, is that Denium's Point is where Theseus' wife came from. The Queen Triena. That's where he met her.
Do you know who Triena is?
I'm afraid not. Is that a friend of yours?
She came from the same place as you. How old is Triena?
Ask
You
her
don't
if she knows Theseus.
Okay.
His name is more well known.
Yeah, do you know who Theseus is?
Oh no, I don't spend much time fraternizing with humans. No, I mostly stay in Denium's Point and
Who?
carve.
Who's the king of Xander?
Yeah, I
right
was like,
now?
who's the king of Xander currently?
Emperor Gilro, of course.
Is that
Who is it currently for real, Sammy?
Emperor Gilro, but Gilro's a family name.
First name, then, not the family name.
I actually don't know. I've never
What's a
heard him
significant
referred to.
event that we can?
I will
What's the
say,
last major
just to make you guys a little bit, if she said something about a century old and that she remembers before the Divine War, she is from the past, 100%.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out from where in the past, though.
Far in the past.
Less than 1,000 years after the Divine War. Right now, you guys are like 3,000 years after the Divine War.
Holy shit.
And what's the lifespan of elves?
About
A
1,000 years.
lot.
Gee.
How much is it?
About 1,000 years.
Oh, God.
Okay,
750 to 1,000. By 1,000, you're like fucking ancient.
Can I-
Okay.
I want to
Oh,
ask
maybe
the
not really.
Triton. Are you familiar with the drowned descendants?
Unfortunately, I am.
What do you mean, unfortunately? Elaborate. Explain that.
I belong to an organization called the Ninth Leg. I have often found myself on the opposite end of a blade from the drowned descendants.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are these like underwater gangs? What's happening?
Okay. Are you familiar with you know who Theseus is?
Of course, he visits every 3 years.
So he's not super old. He's more modern time trial. Are you familiar with what was the name of the poison that was on the quill? Or was it just the quill was poisonous? Do you remember?
The quill has inherent poison in it.
Ask if he's
I've
ever
never-
killed a human woman.
Have you ever killed a human woman with a poisonous quill?
That is not my weapon of choice, no.
And what is?
I prefer stealth and steel.
We're kind of ignoring the humans and the gnome here. I'm
There's
trying
so many
to,
things to ask.
I'm trying to the human man. What did you do before you were taken?
I am an Athenian soldier. I am stationed in Palatine, though I originally hail from Olive Tree.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
That depends on your definition of worst. I'm a follower of Ares. We might have different opinions on that word.
In your opinion, what's the worst thing you've ever done?
There was a raid in Palatine. A tribe of orcs came to try to take over the town. It's something that is very common there. It's part of why I was stationed there, to defend the town. And, well, there was this one orc that I saw enter this family's home, and I heard screams, and I went in, I slayed the orc, saved the family, but it occurred to me in retrospect that they were not necessarily of the same mindset as I am in terms of what that means. Ares teaches that what is conquered belongs to the conqueror. What is saved belongs to the saver. I had killed the beast and saved their lives, and so their lives belonged to me. Well, I found the maid in that house quite beautiful. Her husband did not agree with my taking her, and so I slayed him too.
All right, go down the line. Who's next? You.
Sammy, what?
Next would be the elf, the woman.
Pop it up.
Sammy, I feel like that would be like a trigger warning or something. Jesus.
Yeah, sorry, this is gonna get dark, guys. That's not the end of it.
I don't.
Aries.
The
Okay, Talia, your turn.
Tanila, but the worst.
Sorry, Chip, Tally, your turn.
My dyslexia. I'm sorry. I wrote it right.
The worst thing I've ever done. I need to rack my brain. I've lived quite a long life. There was, I believe, one time, a traveler came into my shop and was looking through my wares. He was not elvish. I think perhaps he was the first human I'd ever seen. And was quite interested in buying one of my pieces, and I had never even considered selling to a non-elf, and so when he asked the price, I told him it was quadruple what it actually was. Made him balk, and he decided not to buy. He left, empty-handed, and I, in the moment, felt quite proud, but in my later years, when the races began to mingle a bit more, I realized that that was a bit short-sighted of me, a bit prejudiced.
So she was racist. What the fuck
Alright,
is happening?
keep going. We need to know. Down the line. Who's
Okay,
next?
Wallaby.
Keep going.
Walby goes, well, I'm a city guard, so I've busted a lot of people who probably didn't have much coin, and I threw them in prison for probably much of their lives for petty things, thieving just to eat, you know, street rats, that sort of thing. Beyond that, I can't really think of anything more beyond that.
You don't really sound bad.
I don't think I am, to be honest.
Did you say your name was Wallaby, or is that what people call you?
People call me Wallaby because my name's Wallaby.
No, I mean, like, you don't sound
Sorry.
ashamed of doing that.
You know, I'm from Corinth. I've seen my city, you know, change hands a number of times. I've learned that if you stay true and hard like a tree, you're just gonna get run over. So I sort of go with the flow. You know, I like water off a duck's back. You know what I mean?
It's a duck.
It's
I'll
a bird.
explain to Ryujin what a duck is.
The sailor has definitely seen ducks before.
Has he? It is Ryujin.
I'm just trying to be off-putting.
It is Ryujin.
I'm not about to believe he just didn't do anything yet.
I mean,
Also, real quick, I'm sorry, this is completely off guard, but can we just appreciate DJ had a recap that he sent in the Discord that just said, okay, so racist and a pagan. Exactly those
okay.
words.
Next is the human woman, Sophia.
Sophie.
She goes, if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not talk about mine.
What if you
Oh.
just told like one of us?
We're here for
You
it.
gotta tell us, I'm sorry.
Well, I got in with the wrong crowd, I guess you would say. There was a man back in Xander, where I'm from. He liked me, and he thought I could be useful to him, and he said that he was a follower of Aphrodite as well, and he talked to me about how Aphrodite represents pleasure, and that any sort of pursuit of pleasure is pursuit of her glory. And I guess that sort of resonated with me, or maybe I was just young and foolish. He had me find other girls around my age and become friends with them, and then once I had their trust, I would bring them to him. And it took me a while before I asked him why I'd never seen any of them again, and then I didn't want to know the answer.
Can I walk over to her real quick and put my hand on her shoulder real quick? I grew up with parents for a brief period at the beginning of my life who were followers of Aphrodite, and it's hard to break things where you're indoctrined into thinking that. We've gotten past it now, but they locked me in a basement when I was a kid because of things. It takes a while to get past that. And you didn't know any better.
All right. Next.
Moontide goes, I have done many things, but I do not believe any of them to be bad.
All
Everything
right.
I do in defense of the crown and in defense of Nepios.
Can I just
Have you done anything that's horrific that wasn't in the defense of the crown, that was like for your own gain or anything like that?
Jaywalking.
No, I don't mean
Sorry.
you don't believe that it is. I mean objectively things that are without your reasoning in it yet. You know what I mean?
Well, I have killed many people.
Can I just say something in Thieves' Canton and ask system, like if he did some of this for a guild, his guild, or he said he was part of the Ninth Leg.
The ninth leg. He responds in Thieves' Cant. It is our duty to protect Nepios and protect the king.
Okay. I'll just say I think a lot of his killing he felt was justified.
Okay. That gave me an idea. I will in Titanic say, do any of you understand the language I'm speaking?
Looking around, make an insight check.
Can I just use my passive insight?
Which is
18.
18. Yeah. None of them seem to stir at the words that you're speaking. You get the sense that none of them understand you.
Okay.
Okay, what else can we
ask-
ask?
I'm
But
gonna
I
ask
want to
the Triton,
ask.
Are you familiar with ships? Huh? You like ships?
I am
You know the
familiar
Virgin
with the
Naiad? Does
concept.
that ring a bell?
Unfortunately not.
How about the Tromocrates?
Of course I have heard of the Drachmae.
So like real modern times. This is okay.
Hasn't she had the boat for like 20 years?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just under 20? Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's around your age.
Well, no, it's
Yeah,
around
yeah.
Tria's age, so it'd be about 16 years.
I want to ask Sophia, how did she get out of like her situation, or when did she get out, if she ever did?
Quite recently. I got out. The only way I felt I could without being afraid that he was gonna be around every corner.
Ooh.
Also, this hurts, Sammy. This hurts.
Okay, but if this goes like modern time, we can stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you have like a name, address?
Location,
I
I'll
mean, it
pull it
sounds
up
like she
right now.
killed him.
Is he still around physically? Their network.
I think she killed him by the sound of this.
Blink twice.
I believe he had friends, but I never met any of them face to face. But at the very least, he is no longer a problem.
Where exactly was this in Xander so that we know?
The district?
Yeah.
It was in the Tapestry District.
Alright, because I've got to go back to the Xandarian Empire at some point pretty soon for some stuff.
Is there
So,
a place called Xander in Xander?
yeah.
Is there a place called Xander and Xander? No.
Wait, so
Jamie, a quick
I don't
question.
There's
What is-
Xander, but then there's the Xandarian Empire. Xander's
Yeah.
the capital of the Xandarian Empire.
Yeah, it's like the Athens of the Xandarian Empire. Xander's the
Have
capital
you
city.
updated the world map recently?
I did. Do you notice a couple islands are missing?
Oh
yeah,
no!
I did.
Stop!
Weird how that happens. When
Wow.
you're
How is
exposed to other
Vulcan
things.
still standing and everything around it is just like slowly disappearing?
So, can I ask which are the new ones? Just because I.
Yes, the one above Nepeot is recently
Hmm.
sunk, and the one, the closer one to Vulcan on the left-hand side is new.
So he's like traveling all over the place.
Yeah, he's not going in like any particular order. He's not
He's
Pac-Man.
getting real close to
Had
Adam.
we?
You don't know any of this, Ryujin.
I know nothing. I just.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I'm
Should
gonna
we, like-
ask to everybody: were you all there for the Age of Darkness?
The other woman looks confused at what you said,
Yeah. I figured.
but all of the other ones say yes.
Did you see the Age of Darkness end?
Darren goes, "The Age of Darkness will never end."
Oh, buddy.
Wallaby goes, "Yeah, that was what was it, like 2 days ago or something? The sun came up and everyone was cheering and it was crazy. I was on shift at the time, so I couldn't really celebrate with everyone else, but, you know, I celebrated enough after that."
Wait. So, the Darren, the first one,
Mhm.
right, said it will never. Why do you say it'll never end? Why do you say that specifically?
Because when the Age of Darkness began and the Black Dragonborn came to Paladin, we couldn't stop them. We were overrun by them, and they put all of us soldiers in prison.
Oh. That needs to be something we look into, guys.
Ah,
You got time.
Do we?
You got like 4 weeks.
Time seems to be working weird here. We don't know how long we've actually been here.
okay. So objectively, group huddle, real quick. I'm gonna get everybody. So can I just proofread the scroll real quick?
Yeah, you want me to read it again?
Yes.
Okay. You've done well, but there's one final lesson you must prove you've learned. One and only one of the people before you must die. Ask what you will, then speak your reasoning aloud and make your decision. Choose correctly or meet the same fate.
We have to pick one of them. See, is it one of them or one of all of us? Is it like, are we involved in this number? One of the individuals before you. Well, we're before each other, so like.
I'm
Somebody's
gonna
gotta
assume
die.
Zeus did not do that, but
I mean, we don't know that. Zeus
let's
is
also think of the fact that
Kraken.
we're looking at this from Zeus's perspective.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out there. Chronologically, Elf Lady's already dead.
Yeah. Yeah, she would be dead IRL.
Just gonna
Yes.
throw that out there. Everybody else probably has a chance for redemption, no matter how bad it is.
I will
Even
say,
the reason.
in response to also saying she's already dead, we have to think of this from Zeus's perspective, and we all know how Zeus feels about Titans. And she worshipped
Wait.
Cronus.
How? Yeah. How is that individual even here, right? Because we're not sure how like this area works, but that individual that realistically could be thousands of years old, kind of worships Kronos, the Titan of time. You know, everyone else is in modern era, recent times.
Yeah, I'm not liking her
So
vibe.
it kind of is a little off-putting, but at the same time, I'm not sure what to do.
I mean, can we have a hint?
What are the
No.
what time
What's
are the
the
This is a
heck?
moral dilemma. There are no hints.
Wait, what
I
are the
don't
other
want
two
to
times?
die.
There's a lot
Sorry,
more
yes,
time.
sorry, Adagio. I'll finish them. Sophia, she goes, yes, it was immediately after I had, solved my problem, and then I saw the sunrise, and it was a sign from the gods that maybe all was not lost.
So you killed him, right? He's dead? That individual?
We've
Yes.
established that.
Yep. Okay.
Moontide
Understandable.
goes,
I respect it.
yes, I was in the middle of a mission, taking advantage of the darkness, and then the sun came up, and we had to abort the mission at risk of being seen. It was inconvenient, but overall, I suppose it is better.
I'm
was the mission?
sorry. What?
Adagio did it.
Don't sound so off-put about the sun coming back.
What was the mission?
I feel like Ryujin is like personally attacking this trident. And I'm like, I need you to back up.
We heard of a sect of the drowned descendants that were coming back into the city for supplies. We meant to cut them off. Due to the sunrise, we had to abort, and I believe they made off with enough food to last them a bit longer.
Well,
Our apologies. Well, his apologies, and I'll look to Adagio.
well, if we ever make it out of this, you and I, we gotta link up. I'll help you. We'll fuck the drowned descendants. Next second.
Well, what?
Nature.
No. I'm just saying. I'm saying. No. I said I'll help you, and then period, space, capital letter, fuck the drowned descendants.
No, you said we'll fuck the drowned descendants.
Listen, I talk quickly and I'm nervous. Okay, cut me some slack.
Listen, you would have been fine had you not put will before.
I didn't mean like that. Okay, I didn't mean like that.
I don't know. Are you sure that you don't want to fuck the drowned descendants?
That's a flawless victory.
What are you guys doing?
I'm sorry.
You guys ever commute?
Adagio, you just got real quiet for some reason.
Me?
Yeah.
I might have moved my mic.
Oh, much better. Carry on.
I said, have you guys committed Hugh?
It's Zeus. He doesn't care.
Is he? What do you mean?
Hubris?
Yeah, I mean-
Zeus?
Doesn't he like
I
smite
think
every
he
other
does,
person? I don't know.
He does.
Yeah,
No,
against him.
you're absolutely right.
But that I don't think would go with like committing hubris. Zeus
is
is
a-
also
I'm
very
just saying.
hubris about things.
They have
Zeus
like
is a
worse problems.
Human being, I just work here.
It's like
I felt that. Oh my god.
death row or something. These people are bad, depending on who you ask.
So which one of them deserves to die?
I
All of them.
mean,
Stab,
I only
stab,
think
stab,
of
stab.
one person who Zeus ideally wouldn't condone. Like everybody else is like, oh, I do that, or oh, my kid's down with that, or like,
I don't know. Something about this elven lady feels hella off.
I
She
feel like
feels
she's a
like
red
good
herring,
friend.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay, Darian is
Listen,
weird.
listen.
But
Darian is a piece of shit.
true.
The
But Zeus would also do the same. So I'm like,
yeah, but are we supposed
Zeus
to think
would.
this from
Zeus would disguise
Zeus's
himself
moral
as a
standpoint
bull.
or our own moral standpoint? Because
I mean, this is a
I
challenge.
think the trident is fine. I'll be honest.
Out of character. I just want to say, every time that we don't take the low bearing fruit, I feel like we end up like
You get
regretting
fucked.
it. Like, remember Nadar, and we were like, hey, there's a black dragon. It can't be the black dragon born, right?
y'all called me racist for
Right?
that too. I was like,
We
I
did.
don't know how this works.
And I mean,
Remember Sullivan, when we knew the whole time who did it, and then, like, at the last minute, we were like, no, we're pulling the trigger on this, and it was just a little bit too late. No,
And my dad's
that
soul
was
stuck in hell.
everybody.
Listen, but there are instances where if you go for, like, Sammy could just be like, yeah, I want them to go for the low-hanging fruit because then I'm gonna fuck them, and it's not actually what was supposed to happen, you know?
I don't think he's ever actually done that because he knows we never go for the low hanging fruit.
Same
Okay,
That's
what
not
if-
true. I gave you a box with a button, and Ryujin immediately pressed it.
Literally
My
pressed
bad.
it.
Okay,
Immediately.
but I don't think the box
Ideally.
counts because
Yeah.
Ryujin has bad luck with boxes. You can't give him a box without him being like, "Ooh, this one."
Do it.
Well, Sammy had no way of
It was
knowing
real-
Ryujin would find the box
Yeah.
first.
Listen,
It wasn't
if
the
was
fact
real
that it
life
was a low
and
bearer
that button
fruit,
was
it
in
was
front
a
of me,
box.
I still would have pressed it. Okay.
Yeah, no matter who found
It
it,
was
Ryujin was
about-
pressing this. We all knew it.
I wanna
Okay.
I wanna turn to everyone, and I'm gonna be like, we have a lot at stake here. An audience of the gods, yada yada, important, blah 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 blah.
Our lives.
Our lives are part of it too, but that's not as important. Knowing what you know and knowing the people around you and the things you've heard, why do you think you shouldn't die? Like, do you think you deserve to live?
Interesting question.
I like
Um,
that.
That's an interview question.
Darren,
That does feel like an interview question.
yeah. Darren ponders for a second. I don't deserve to die because everything I've done in the name of my god, and there's plenty more still to do.
But you also feel bad about what you did, didn't you?
I feel bad that I didn't maybe communicate how things work in my religion.
Feels like you didn't communicate at all, my dude.
That's true. And I regret that, but I don't regret my actions.
Trash, garbage, right there. Big
So-
red flag. Do not hire.
Big red flag there, my dude.
How did he?
A little bit of a piece of shit.
How did he get in
Huddle.
front of me?
Can we agree that like even so he can't hear. Seeing as he's like end time, like maybe we should like find him after this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Also,
like he's problematic.
y'all,
Just
we're
saying.
debating this like we don't have one of
Wait.
the smartest people
we just,
in all
we just
of
pop
Gaia
up out of the
standing
huddle and
next
go, hey, where'd you say you were from again?
to help.
Oh yeah, but
Where were you at before
even
this?
if we kill him, isn't this just how all Ares like followers think?
Maybe not to this
That's a
extent,
good point.
though.
Remember when we were talking about good gods, bad gods, good titans, bad titans?
Maybe
So
Ares
we're
needs to
gonna
recover
put-
form.
Yeah, we're gonna put Ares to the left of that line. Just
We're just gonna
Just for
debate
good
how we feel about Ares currently.
we're gonna table that for later.
Okay, Miss Halila.
Tanilla.
Halila?
Oh god.
She goes, well, if you do choose to kill me, I've lived a long life, that would be fine, but I do not believe that I am worthy of death. Any mistakes that I've made were made in my youth, and when you live as long as I have, the times change around you, and you must change with them. And so I do not believe that I must be condemned for the actions of a person who is barely even who I am now.
Sammy,
Through the divine war
Yes.
that we established.
yes.
Do you remember the new kingdom of the gods and the absence of the titans, so on and so forth?
I do.
That would have been a crazy time to be alive, dude. Oh man.
It was an extremely dangerous time to be alive. The gods needed to assert their dominance over the people they now ruled.
Wait a
All
minute.
of us. What?
You are a living, breathing person we could talk to about what the Titans were like when they ruled on the world.
Yes. Yes, I can.
What the fudge?
I was a child, so there is not much that I remember, but I will say that the end of what they would call the Age of Titans was a time very much like present, I suppose. The most violent time that I experienced was right after the Divine War. Because all of us on Gaia had been worshipping the Titans our entire lives. The gods could not have that. There was a purge.
Oh.
It was horrible.
Did you lose anybody in that purge? Anyone close to you? Family, friends,
Probably
significant
yes, sir.
others?
Oh yes, I lost both my parents and my older brother. I was spared merely because I had never formed as strong of a connection with the Titans as they had, I suppose. I was a bit too young to make my own decisions at that point. So while I worshipped Kronos, I was easily swayed to never pray to him again. And that seemed to spare me.
And did you hold to that
Did you still worship him though without praying?
It is an interesting question. I don't know. When you appreciate a falling leaf, is that worshipping Demeter?
What did you appreciate about the... What do you mean? What would Kronos have been in this situation if Demeter was a falling leaf? You're not worshipping that, but you
The
appreciate it.
passing of
What
time.
situation...
If she's
The elves.
passing of time.
The
Well, yeah,
elves
but, like-
were Kronos' favorite people. It is why he gave us the gift of long lives. Every time I saw humans be born and grow and die when I stayed exactly the same, I appreciated that gift.
I mean,
Yeah, well,
out of character, like out of game, what would you do if we picked the wrong person?
I can tell you that because that might
Gotta
happen.
find out.
I just want to. Are you gonna let me like? Well, that's the end of the game, you guys.
I will say, if you're nervous, you have a bunch of NPCs you could use as cannon fodder.
I'm weak. No. Okay.
Oh
so
my
Isis-
God,
You're like, you know what? Hey, Iasis, come over here. Take this dagger.
I need a favor from you since we just brought you back.
So, like, I have a question. Could we just like, what one of the NPCs say who, and if it's wrong, we just say a different person every time.
Well, yeah, but they'd be dying every time, yeah.
So we have
And
5
these are-
chances to get it right.
No, we don't. What
No,
other
no,
demigods do we have to
one
replace the ones we
says
have right
two.
now?
I'm
Yeah.
talking about for the ones that we know there's multiple of them in places.
So
Like
just Ryujin and Dardanian Iasis. Those are your options.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can find some other ones, some of these other gods.
That we
If
can
we can
trust?
kidnap the Countess, we'd have Teclis too.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true.
True.
Oh my goodness.
I could just lightning bolt all of them at the same time. I'm just kidding.
We have to speak out loud, though.
I want to hear the rest of them though.
Yeah, I was like going on
Right,
down the line.
right. Sorry. Walby goes, well, I don't think I deserve to die because I don't think I've done anything as bad as fucking these people. Jesus Christ. Whoever that is. Gods,
Oh,
I
Say
mean...
you like imprisoned people like on.
I mean, sure, yes, I probably
Like, that
ruined some
didn't
lives
deserve
of,
it.
of some street rats. That's absolutely
you-
true. But I never
They're still people and you're
killed a
still
man
ruining
to fuck his
lives.
wife. I never sentenced girls to sex slavery, whatever it is you did to them.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, you can't. She's basically a child herself.
All
Fuck
right,
off that
but-
shit.
All I'm saying is,
But you still
I'm a-
objectively ruined people's lives. They ruined people's lives also, but you did the same. You just weren't as like violent. You're
That's
still
true.
wrong.
You
You
pay your
still did
taxes?
horrible things.
of course I pay my
Did you pay
taxes.
your taxes?
I'm a city guard. I go after the people that don't pay their taxes.
Yeah, what'd you do?
But did you pay your taxes? That's not an answer.
I did.
Did you
I
accept
did
bribes?
pay my taxes.
Okay.
Sure.
You accept bribes? Yes or
Ah.
no?
Ah!
Not a lot. Everyone gets their whistle wet a little bit.
All right,
It's
so you're a
Corinth.
corrupt city guard that ruined people's lives. All right, moving on.
Did you commit tax fraud?
I did not commit tax fraud. I can confidently say I never committed tax fraud, and if that is the barrier
You paid a
to
tax
decide who
fraud.
dies, then I should absolutely not die.
Did you ever throw someone in prison who did not deserve to be in prison?
We've established this. Yes.
Yes.
I meant like very outwardly, not like a street rat, as you say, trying to like get by. I mean like someone who definitely did not deserve to be there. You were like bribed to put them there, kind of thing.
No, there are people who we suspect of a crime and we lock up, and then we discover they weren't the person that committed that crime, and we let them go.
You
There
ever
are people who
manufactured
we suspect of a crime, we lock them up, we never find out who did it, so they stay locked up.
Did you manufacture evidence?
I've never manufactured evidence, no.
Why am I asking these questions?
He seems like a cool cop.
How weird.
Seems like the cop that'll pull you over at the end of his shift and probably confiscate your,
Yeah. Sophia goes, If one of us has to die, it can be me. That's okay.
It's okay.
Nope.
Out of character.
Nope.
It is
Nope,
not
moving
going
on.
to be her.
Moving on. That's not happening.
She has to come on this side of the line now.
We're gonna. You know what? You're gonna come with us. It's fine.
Yeah, we just like pull her to like our group. Like, no, you're coming with us, sweetheart.
Her feet are
Still
locked to the
tangled.
floor.
We can pick the lock.
And finally, Moontide goes, I cannot die today. There is much to do in the protection of our kingdom, and the threats are only getting stronger with each passing day.
I think he's not it. I think we should keep him alive because he's honestly kind of.
Yeah. Oh, same. Yep.
Can I?
agree.
Is this like a bigger truth
All right,
zone
well,
or
we've
like
taken
a
2 people out
stronger?
of the equation, right?
It seems like it's not a stronger zone of truth. It just seems like it covers a larger area.
But that means that doesn't mean that they're like actually affected. It's possible that one of these people is like lying the entire time.
That's true.
Right?
You wanna make an insight
I
check?
want to insight check the
Can
group.
Go
I
ahead.
use my passive on all of them for this?
Well, mine's
Sure,
like
let's
a
see what a
17
Dodgio rolls, yeah.
passive, so
Mine's an 18.
I'm so sorry. I'm a point below.
Guidance question?
I will say that because of your guys' passive insights, maybe due to the nature to make this a fair test, or maybe just because they're honest people, or maybe because they're all affected by the spell, but you haven't detected any deception from them this entire time.
Okay.
So at the very least, we believe we can take 2 people off the board. Correct or incorrect?
Sammy, in
Yes.
response to what you're just saying about that, can I roll a straight insight check for their answers so far? Because they could have rolled past my passive
Sure, go ahead.
on deception.
What if the trident?
Ooh, let's fucking go. That's a 23.
23? Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're being deceptive. Some
Okay,
of them
cool.
seem to be like hiding things because they're ashamed, but none of them have been deceitful.
Okay. I'm sorry. My brain immediately, as soon as you said that, I was like, nope, check.
No, you're fine.
Okay, well, if you boil down each person, Darian feels like he did no wrong because he did in the name of the god.
Even if it was
Alila is a completely different person now, so why should she be punished? Walby is the least of the evils, quote unquote. Sophia thinks that she should at least
Debatable.
sacrifice herself because she's done horrible things, and that's not really her fault, but that's kind of her fault. And then Moontide is just like, I have things left to do, so please don't kill me. I live for a greater purpose.
So are you saying we kill Sophia?
No, I'm not saying we kill
So-
Sophia. I was never gonna
That's
kill
not like.
anyone who said
Okay.
yes was an automatic. You're not dying.
Okay.
We should,
So
yeah, I think we should
Sophia
kill Grandma.
and the Triton are off the board. Darren,
I
Darren.
think Darren's off the board.
Wait.
Darren
Darren.
Ramshead.
Darren
Sophia-
Ramshead did some horrible things in the name of Ares, but Ares is also objectively like, yeah, the god of
Sure.
war, but is kind of messed up.
He's very
That
terrible.
technically wasn't in the name of Ares. That was in the name of him, but Ares kind of like co-signed.
This
That's
dude
like-
just wanted to
Well,
get
Darren
laid
is
and didn't know how to get
Darren-
over
like,
Darren is still bad. Objectively
Yeah.
bad individual, do not condone.
Okay, as much as I don't like Walby, I don't think his crimes are
Walby
like.
ruined people's
Walby do?
lives. There's probably still people in jail that Walby put there.
Yeah,
for no reason at all.
probably. But
I
like,
Listen,
Like-
injustice.
I know he
We're
said
pretty-
that the elven woman doesn't deserve to die for like her crimes from her youth, but also the way she's answered these questions has felt very much so like she's trying to hide stuff she's done.
I
she's
will
also
say,
dead already.
yeah, there's
She would be dead too.
unless
don't
this
know.
is like a
I
pulled out
think
of
she just-
time type scenario, but she is also the odd man out because everyone else is like modern times.
but they're
top
still all
pluck and
pulled out of
cookie.
time too.
It's
Yeah,
not
but
the
by
same
far.
place.
That's
Like
a
they'd still be
long
alive.
time.
She's
Yeah.
dead.
You don't know that. Some of these people are trapped in the Age of Darkness.
3,000
Well, I don't think
years.
he said that he was. He said that it would never end because
Okay,
of the Dragon War, not that it
really-
actually had not ended.
Really quickly, how do we think they're plucked from wherever they were to here? Is it just like a consciousness type thing? If they're actually here, like completely, like if you're in a shop one day and you're plucked out of that shop and put here 1,000 years ago, like you're
I
just
don't
straight gone for the rest of that time period and you're here, or is it like you're plucked out and there the next day, and what? Like, how do we? Because I feel like it kind of seems. I can't speak.
I don't
It
think
kind
we
of seems like we have different theories on this as a group. So what do we think is?
I think that's the least important thing to focus on right now.
I mean, I'm just thinking
Can
about
I
it
turn
because
to-
you said that the woman could be just dead. But then you said we don't know. So
I didn't say anything about not knowing. She's most definitely dead. She only lives 1,000 years. She's probably
Yeah, she's
bones.
gone.
Bones and dust now.
But if they were
that
plucked
doesn't.
out like
Oh,
But
2,000
that
years
doesn't
ago, they
excuse
could very
her.
much be alive still, right?
But
Like
that what? It's been like 3,000 years since the divine battle, and she only lives 1,000 years because she's an elf. So unless
Mhm.
she's somehow a super elf who can live 3 lifetimes, I mean, sure, she's probably around somewhere, old AF.
Am I
eras in the
overthinking
world.
this? Hold on. Damn it. Question.
Yeah.
Am I overthinking this? Because the way I am processing it in my brain is that
Yeah.
you've got this little circle with all these people in it that were plucked out of different points in time, right? So
Yeah.
that this woman is plucked from way in the past,
Yeah.
and is taken and put into the little circle, right?
Yeah.
And there's no guaranteeing like, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna put them back afterwards. Like they could just be here, time passes, and then they're put like in modern day, for example, if we decide that they live, right? In which case, this person would still be alive if we spared them and they were put back. Correct? That's how I'm processing this.
Can I
I will
say
I will
this is
I will
because-
say as the DM, what I will say is Adagio is right. I think you're focusing on the wrong part.
Okay.
like a Doctor Who episode with the robot that takes people out at the end of their timeline and kills them, or like kills them before they can do things that are bad.
Yeah, kind of.
The Terminator.
It's the Tesseract. Can I
Now,
turn to Darian real quick? Or Darren?
Sure. Yeah, Darren. Yeah.
You said that the Age of Darkness would never end because of the Dragonborn that invaded the city. Did you actually see the sun rise again, though?
There are no windows in my prison cell.
How long had the Age of Darkness been going when you were captured?
It's hard to tell time. Maybe, I don't know. It's definitely been over a year.
And how long do you think you've been captured?
I couldn't say. Sometimes they give what feels like 1 meal a day, sometimes it's 2. Or maybe it's always 2, maybe it's always 1. It's hard. It's hard to keep your mind in a place like that.
A rough estimate, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't have one.
Okay. From the way this sounds, he was back by the time the sun rose.
Human being. Why does that moment in time matter?
Well, because then we have one odd one out.
We have this random person. True. I guess Talila. I don't feel like Talila is a bad person. Now
we have one person who was
He's
bad
racist.
and ended up good.
she
and is
was
incredibly old.
racist. She said that she's no longer because times and she's changed and she feels
don't think
bad.
She's
that she
changed.
did
She
that.
just said she realized that it wasn't exactly the best thing to do. She didn't say it was the worst thing to do.
But she
But
did admit it was
hasn't
her
she
worst.
lived
But
a
she
full
admitted
life?
that that was the worst thing she did.
But
Hasn't
didn't she
lived a
basically
full
say,
life?
I don't know, I thought she kind of said it wasn't like what we would consider bad. So she, like she would consider. Oh my god. I can't speak words. It wasn't what she would consider bad, but it's what we would consider bad. Isn't that basically what she said?
Well, the question was, what's the worst thing you've done? And she was like, I haven't really done anything crazy bad, but I would say that this is probably the worst thing I've done.
Okay, I thought she said it as like we would consider it bad, but she wouldn't. Maybe I
Did
misunderstood.
she say she's a better person now, or that she's not racist anymore?
Yeah, she said that times change. You have to change with the times.
She said she didn't
no
deserve
longer
to
racist.
die for the crimes of her youth.
I don't think she should either.
Well, we all think different things, and we've got to decide.
Phoebe,
show
show me
me
the
Decide
future.
wrong, you'll die.
Changed,
Can I ask Phoebe a question?
but she's
Phoebe,
old
you there?
now.
Phoebe, if I stab the old lady, what happens? Don't answer that. I don't want to know. Don't answer
No,
that.
you
Phoebe,
just hear her.
please.
You just hear her say, if you want to do this, if you want to pass this test and get to that meeting, it can't be because I gave you the answer.
Okay, well then teach me enough divination for me to see myself.
Can we ask Cora what she thinks? Cora's really smart.
Yeah, but is she
Cora's
moral?
just been patiently observant this entire time.
Cora, you're
And-
smart. Help.
She goes, well, I can't confidently say any of them. I will just say, in Zeus's letter, or assuming that Zeus wrote the letter, or whoever, someone wrote it on his behalf, it says to speak your reasoning aloud when you make the decision, and it says that there's one final lesson you must prove you've learned. So I suppose the reasoning has to be something that Zeus wants us to know.
Okay,
It's
so
a
you were
lesson.
talking about a lesson.
I think-
We were talking about the lesson before, right? Because you were stuck on that before. In this
A lesson
time
of
frame, have
Kronos,
you
yes.
with anything that might be a lesson we were supposed to learn from all of this?
There was a singular thought going through my head once we entered this room, and it's been bouncing through my head, and it's kind of like, like we're mortals, they're the gods, so they judge, and like, who are we to them? So I'm like, are we supposed to really pick a person, or is that like who are we like decide these things when like the gods make these?
Yes,
I'm annoyed.
I've been thinking along that train of path as well, but I don't know. What we learned in the temple is that Kronos' belief is that no humans are worthy, no mortals are worthy of that kind of glory. No mortals will ever achieve what the Titans have. If Zeus wanted to teach us that same lesson, I don't know why he would. If anything, wouldn't he want to prove that he's different than Kronos?
Well, if he's different than Kronos, then nobody needs to die.
It feels like no matter what, we're gonna end up kind of making the wrong decision. It seems like the point would be, I mean, there's no way to make a decision that's 100% correct.
I feel like
No.
this is becoming one of those points where, like, if it was Kronos' decision, Kronos would kill them all because they think that they deserve to live.
No, Sophia doesn't think she deserves
Well-
to live.
That's fair, but like, you see what I'm saying? Like, Kronos would kill them all for having any form of hubris about this.
Maybe this would be a good sort of exercise, right? If Zeus wants us to speak our reasoning aloud, then why don't we go down the line and say why, if we were Zeus, why we would strike this person down.
Okay, who wants to do that? Because I'm honestly not sure for any of them why they should be struck down.
Okay, well,
I
Ares
It
can-
makes a
dude.
Titan worshiper in Zeus's eyes.
Oh my god, don't we have like two Zeusian demigods?
Yeah,
right
you
here?
want to ask them?
Excuse me.
Hey, Dardania, your dad likes you.
Isis,
She-
please, I need your input. You've chased your father.
Dardania sort of walks forward, and she looks at them all. She goes, "If I were him," she points her finger at the first one, Darren. She goes, "This man committed atrocities in the name of a god as a way to excuse his own violent behavior." She points to the elf. "This woman worshipped a titan, which is bad enough, and also remembers a time that no other living creature currently remembers, a time that it seems the god would rather forget." She points to Walby. "This man preyed on the weak because he was in a position of power, and he thought that gave him the right." Points to Sophia. "This woman sentenced many other people to a terrible fate because she was too blind to see what she was doing." And as the Triton, This man has killed so many and has justified it by serving his kingdom. But all the battlefields in all the worlds are littered with the bodies of people just like him. What gives him the right to decide what is a threat to his kingdom? I don't know if that helps, but that's what I've got.
Did anything happen?
No.
I wouldn't pick one.
Still gotta kill one. Somebody gotta die.
I feel like
Can I just say, I feel like at this point, none of them deserve to die more than the others do. They've all done bad things. But none of these things sit heavier than any of the other things did at the end of the day.
I feel
But
like
are we trying to think of in the eyes of Zeus which is the worst?
I
I
mean,
feel like in
one
the
of
eyes
us.
of Zeus, the worst would be having someone from an age that they want to forget and move on from that used to, worship the Titans. Because I feel like that was, that's just what they would gravitate towards.
I also feel like Zeus.
But I feel like from our morality standpoints, then that's when we kind of like pick it apart and we're like, okay, this person did this horrible thing.
But this is a Zeus challenge.
I think
Yeah.
Zeus is trying to tell us at this point we need to trust our gut because we never do.
I
Okay, no,
feel
go
like-
stab the old woman.
You're gonna pick up the dagger
There's-
and stab the old woman?
Nora, go do it.
All right, real quick. You say that, but if I die, fuck the prophecy, I guess.
That's okay. We'll wait until Artemis adopts another.
I feel like it's
Jesus.
like we've like made the individual judgments. Somebody just has to die. Like it could
Why
be
don't we just-
one of us,
Just group vote. Just
and
group
I
vote.
mean,
Whatever.
like not me or anybody else who like may have like a backup sibling.
a backup sibling.
Hey,
Just saying.
if Phaeton,
It's true, Alexios. You could always get Archimiones.
I was about to
Alexios
say,
should totally die.
what about Phaeton? Does he like count, quote unquote? Like if I died right
Phaeton
now,
is not alive, but I guess the
no.
Oracle didn't specify.
I'll risk it for the
Wait.
this bit. Pick up the dagger.
Alchemiones isn't dead, or
No.
may not be dead.
He's not
No.
dead.
Oh,
Sorry.
Not all champions are dead.
Theseus
I
is
just
definitely not
assumed since
dead.
he's always there. He was dead.
No, I mean
That's
most
crazy.
champions are not like Theseus. Most champions spend nearly all, if not all, of their time with their god. Theseus is the exception, not the rule.
Theseus is
Theseus
the
is
business
Theseus,
partner.
man.
Partner.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah.
More you know.
that's messed up.
Theseus is like, look, I would love to be your champion, but I also am a king of one of the largest nations in the world, so I gotta sort of do double duty here.
And
He's
then
an
decided to
overachiever.
fuck his wife because he wanted a child.
Exactly.
I thought I would be able to run a
Never-
nice
never
little
get over that.
smithing shop and then be Hephaestus's champion and everything.
Nah,
I'm
man.
gonna have
If
to
you-
relocate.
Wait, what happens to Theseus and Archimiones if Ryujin?
If
and Alexios
Ryujin were to
become
become
champion?
the champion of Poseidon while Theseus is still alive, nothing would happen. If Theseus dies and still stays as the champion and then is replaced, then he becomes a constellation.
They're like
What
murders
about-
Theseus. I was like, okay.
Never
I
mind.
feel like
how
this
Oh,
is supposed to be from the standpoint of the gods, right? This is like a lesson we need to learn. Maybe the lesson is like, the gods rule now. What they say goes or something. I don't know. I feel like Zeus is just head honcho, cocky guy, and the only person in this group that I can say almost confidently that if, let's say, the gods were here and they were to pick someone based off of what they had done, I think it would be the old elven individual.
how does
'cause they
that-
lived from a time that the gods like didn't rule,
Good.
and
How does
I
that
would rather
bode for
just
us?
be-
Let's say we kill the old woman and we pass the trial, then we know that Zeus isn't gonna want to like change his ways.
Either way, though, like even if
How-
he doesn't want to change his ways, we kind of need to be there to champion the campaign against Hecate.
I mean, on
So my
top of that,
question is real quick. Do we have enough diamonds for Revivify?
I'm weak.
Does anyone have diamonds? Because I used my last set.
I told you
No,
not
wait.
to.
Let me see. Let me see what I've got still. Hold up.
If
I
kill
never have
Isis-
diamonds. Count
if
me
I kill
out of this.
Isis, would like I be able to extract the diamonds from his soul?
No.
I only need 100 more gold pieces.
Of diamonds?
Yeah.
I don't have any diamonds, so
I've
don't-
got 200 that is specifically set aside for 2 castings of Greater Restoration.
That just
Honestly, if I die, just reincarnate. You know, make me a badass dragonborn.
I don't have it right now.
can't pick what you turn into.
You
You're
can't.
incarnate.
It's true.
You could
You
be
no
like a
longer be,
minotaur or something.
Demigod of Poseidon. How would that work? Have we ever established that?
What if we
never been done
reincarnated you
before.
and you
wouldn't be-
became a
Yeah,
demigod?
you
you
wouldn't
should have
be a
reincarnated
demigod of
Isis
Poseidon.
just for experimentation.
All right, so do you want to give me the 1,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds?
That sounds like a sister debt.
I
What
think it's
did Isis
1,000 gold
do to
pieces for that shit.
Isis didn't do anything to me. I just didn't want him to die a horrible death 5 seconds later.
You just throw him in the shit all the time.
Let's see. Rare oils and unguents worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, which the spell consumes.
Wait,
My body sweat,
yeah.
right?
So we don't have
body
anything to
oils that are rare.
revivify?
Only I make it.
You do
Do
not have enough.
100
We don't
gold
have any
pieces of
diamonds.
diamonds?
You do not have enough.
If we don't have the diamonds, then I feel like we should just get to stabbing somebody because like this situation isn't changing.
Oh, we gotta pick
Alright.
a person. The only reason we're not stabbing
Someone
is because
pick a
we can't
person,
pick a
pick up the dagger, but it ain't gonna be me.
Okay.
I've died enough.
Listen. All right.
I pick up the
Fuck you.
dagger and I stab the elf. I'm
Oh
over
my
this.
god. Wait, you didn't give your
You're just
reasoning.
gonna
Oh wait,
I'ma grab
reasoning
the-
because she
Mid
is
stab.
Oh,
a
anyway,
follower of Kronos and lived in a time that Zeus must forget.
Okay. You say your reasoning aloud with the dagger in your hand, and you slit her throat, and you
Oh my
see
God.
the blood pour.
I cast Death
Their
Ward
eyes
on
are still
Drachmae.
blindfolded, or folded,
Yeah,
though, right?
yeah,
Whenever
she's
they
still
took them off,
blindfolded.
Oh no! Oh,
They never saw it coming.
And the
No,
room,
I'm shaking in fear.
the room begins to shake,
Oh god.
vibrating at first, but then a bit more violently. And then all of you hop back to
Are in
the Temple of the Beholder.
Including me?
All of
we
you.
don't die.
She got is Ilme alive.
So
You guys are totally
I'd
fine.
like to can I? We have 2 bags of holding, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we just start shoveling gold into them? Like,
Can I
find Scoop in
diamonds?
There are no diamonds here, no. But
Damn it.
I gave Ilme the total amount of gold last time.
Yeah, we did that before.
Wait,
Oh, can I gather some of the
how much
divine
was that?
battlefield sand in that other room?
Oh yeah, absolutely you can. I'll say
I'll
you
look
can
at
you
Cora
can
and be like,
you can get a vial.
so what does
that's
this
it.
mean though? Did we pass? Are we like what?
We're not dead.
You're not dead.
Not
Is
dead,
it- is
so
the
I,
box
Ilme's
still
not dead,
there?
so I think we passed, which is
The
scary as fuck.
Interesting point of order, Ryujin. You turn to look at the box, and you see it before your eyes glow golden, and then as the gold light fades, as does the box.
All right, can I just say we've got to go to Xander and find this girl. I want to make sure she's okay.
What about
I've
Darren?
seen
I feel
her.
like that's a quicker
Yeah,
I
you
can
move.
cast
send a
message.
That's true. You can.
Is she still alive? Well, not here,
Terrible.
that's for sure. I can't
Let's
cast any
ask
magic here.
Darren where they live.
You
Okay,
know Darren's in Paladin. Paladin.
Yeah.
Oh right, let's go to Paladin, guys.
So
Vacation.
I think we
I
have
mean,
everything we
he
need.
is in
We can go
prison.
back to Sunbrow Manor now, right?
I want to ask Lex if they think I could a divine version of blood glass.
So
Maybe.
That's what you're asking now?
Yes, right now as I collect sand.
Should we take like a huge sample just in case?
I
Yeah,
guess
sample
so.
of sand?
Do you have something to? I mean, you're gonna pour it into the bag of holding.
I mean, I've got
I mean, we could.
I've
We would
got.
just
I
fill
mean,
the
like
space
I've
in between the
definitely got
gold.
vials and stuff from the herbalism kit, right?
Yeah.
We can use some of those.
I'll say you guys can take 6 vials of not blood sand, of divine battlefield sand.
Do I have to go buy more vials then before I can make potions?
Unless
Or
you
empty
do
them
something
out.
else with the sand first, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, we have a bag of holding, or 2 bags of holding, one of which is mainly full of just a bunch of gold and silver and platinum and whatever else, right?
Yeah.
If we were to pour in a crazy amount of sand and just shake it, it would fill the space in between the gold, and we could just fill it up, and it wouldn't take up any more space.
We're not talking about how volume is not additive. I did a whole goddamn 3-week lab on that.
Come on!
Yeah, but then all your
so-
gold's gonna be sandy.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Sammy, for making it not sciencey to me.
Alexios, does the one
Sandy
smoke know
gold.
how to make blood glass, or is that too guarded of a secret?
I mean,
I
Alexios
don't
does not know how to
know.
do it.
Yeah,
I mean-
But does the
don't
one
know what
smoke?
the one smoke knows how to do it
I
yet.
assume
I
you would
don't
just...
assume he knows how not to do anything.
I mean,
He knows
you
how
just
do
have to
everything.
have. So, like, for blood glass, they literally just take the blood sand and
No,
make
no,
glass.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I thought.
it's a more complicated process than that.
Oh, well,
I was about
shit.
to say, I was like, what?
Yeah,
You might be able to
think
read
that,
up on
but
it,
then it turns out that if you heat it up the wrong way, you get high.
Okay,
It's
well,
really
the blood
Wait,
shore
really?
is under our control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that. If
Yeah.
you burn powdered blood
We heat
sand,
up
you
all-
see visions of gruesome deaths.
though.
Oh, my
that's
god.
right.
What happens
I'm
if I
seeing
burn
straight
divine
burning
blood
it though? You can like heat stuff and not burn it.
That's
And
true, but
Make a multi-
if you just try to make glass out of blood sand as if it were normal sand, it can have an effect more similar to that than of actually making blood glass.
Could you
Okay,
imagine you're just at the
that makes
forge trying to make this blood glass, and you just get insanely high, and you just
Yeah.
see like 100 other people's deaths, and you're just like, "Wow,
Oh, not this shit again.
never again."
deathmatch.
Feel like, Cora, can you work
Listen,
on
as someone who grew up in a town where there are a lot of meth labs, let's not do this.
Cora,
Okay.
Cora goes, this is far beyond my capabilities, but if we get Alexios and Paloma and the One Smote in a room, perhaps.
I was hoping, since the blood shore is under our control, you can like, hey, friends, can you do to this what you do to that?
What if they mix the two? Divine blood glass.
Whoa. Okay, can we go back to Sunbrown Manor though?
Are we just supposed to leave here? Like, do we just
It-
teleport out?
I mean, it feels like we've
Everything on the
completed the trial?
I think
Oh.
we're done.
So should we just like teleport out and go out the front? Do you think those
Those things
I'm
are
not
probably
fighting
still
wagons
there.
are still outside?
Oh,
I
for
ain't fighting
sure.
those.
We
Is
should probably
there
just...
a court?
Wait, has it been a whole day? Do our gate stones even work anymore? Like, that's how half of us
It
got
has
here.
not been a full day.
Yeah, but we still have a bunch of them that we left back in the manor, and we have the other ones, right? Oh no, we don't. We left the sets in the manor. That's right.
I have
No, no,
mine, so
we
mine's
have-
always goes back to Delphi.
You also have
I
Really?
always have the set of 2.
Yeah, but
like the 2
We couldn't
sets with me,
teleport
and
the
then
first
the
time
helm.
because the helm doesn't take enough people, right?
Yeah, so we
Oh,
had to
that's
use the
true,
gate
that's true.
stones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
to use them in tandem.
Yeah,
we
but
would
I
have to wait a
have-
day.
an extra one that links back. Do we have an extra one right now that has one in Delphi?
Me. I always have Phaetons.
So then,
I mean-
okay, I know you don't like letting go of Phaetons, but can you leave Phaetons with Cora so she can get back?
I can't just grab Cora and go.
How many
Is-
people can you take, Regent?
Still there?
You
The
can take
helm
8.
takes 8 people.
How
I'll take
many
the
do we
rest.
have?
And the Gatestone takes 8. That's everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just do that then.
Yeah, so
Oh, wait,
region.
yeah, we would still have one set of unused.
So you guys split in half,
Yep.
and by 2 different means of teleportation, you both hop back to Sunbrown Manor.
In the
What time
pool.
of day is it?
Specifically in the pool.
Yeah, in the pool. It is about mid-afternoon at this point.
Alright.
Did we have
I
the
don't know what I want to do, but
Did we have the Zeus people go pray? Can
Yeah,
they do
so-
it again? Actually,
Dardanian's like, well, he didn't answer me last time. He answered my brother, so perhaps I should go and see what I can glean.
both of you go pray.
Yeah, she just takes Isis. She goes, "You are not leaving my fucking side. Come on."
I love that. Amy, can I roll for one of them since I never get to roll this?
Well, Isis is. There's no reason for Isis to roll because it won't succeed, regardless.
I thought we had a long rest and then we went to the next
It takes
day.
like what
It
a
takes
week.
a week.
Yeah.
Takes a week.
Oh, I thought it was a day.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, if you want to roll, go ahead and roll.
Sweet. I never get to do this roll.
If Apollo didn't answer, can I do it again?
Sure.
That's not how that works.
Ooh, let's use these dice instead.
Does
Oh,
that mean
God, that's a 32.
32. Her target that you need to get under is a 40, so
Cool.
she is able to talk to Zeus.
Oh, I think that's what
Amazing.
I rolled too. A couple weeks ago, it was 32.
Nice.
Yeah.
I changed to shitty dice.
Amazing. Adagio, you going to pray as well?
No, I just had the random question of if Phoebe saw Apollo as a dragon because I was wearing her when I prayed to my dad.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess she did.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
While Dardania is going to pray, can I walk over to Ryujin and the rest of the party?
Of course.
Well, first off, I want to turn to Adagio. That was way out of line. I'm so fucking sorry. Awkward sibling hug.
No, but you owe me a pair of boots. That's for sure. I
Why not-
accept the apology.
why not an awkward sibling hug?
I like to be touched.
Can you make an exception for an awkward sibling hug from your not actual sibling?
Fine, you get a pat pat.
Okay, that's what I was gonna do was the pat pat.
Yeah, a little bro hug.
I'm gonna go the full gravity falls, just pat pat.
Yeah.
Oh no, Alexios went bye bye.
Yeah, Alexio
bummer.
said teams just shut down for him.
Love that. Well, he will
the
join
hell?
back soon.
Oh my god.
But,
Yeah, go ahead.
actually, I know I mentioned it to you all before. Is there anything we have to do within the next couple of days?
I'm not sure actually.
I was gonna play with that sand. That's about it.
Because I want to go to the Acmonian Wood.
Hello?
I want to check up with Triea in a day or two, see where they're at.
I mean, someone can go with me, but nobody's. I don't think any of you will be able to stay if they let me undergo the ritual.
Like what?
Not even Elme?
I mean, it's more of like a not. It's not particularly a gender thing. It's more of a sacred thing.
A rite of passage.
Yeah.
Elme could be like nearby or something. No, be like there.
Oh shit! I could, instead of just guessing if this will work or not, I also could cast Commune and see if she'd let me do it. I didn't really think about that before.
I mean, how long will it take you to do this? Do you know?
I don't honestly know.
Oh, I mean, we have what? 4 weeks?
4.5.
4.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't take
3.5
longer
if
than that.
if you're still putting the Tromocrates fight a week in advance.
Oh, okay, 3.5.
I really don't think it's going to take that long.
Okay, then go. As long as if we know that's where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to wait until Dardania gets back, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in our free time over the coming weeks, if there's just anything I can do to help, like the preparation for Democrates or just anything really, I'm not sure.
Can I have
help out
Fate
wherever I
Stone
can.
back to Delphi then if I go?
I
Yes.
thought you were taking the
Let me
helm with
go
you.
into my bag of magic items.
Well, I was just going to go out to the Forest of Artemis and use transport via plants and get there.
I will give you the purple gate stone. Was there a purple set? I think it was.
Okay, you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
do the same thing back?
Yeah, I'll give you one of the purple ones, and I'll have the other one, and I will throw it in the pool after you leave.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna look to Ryujin because I'm pretty sure you just said that out loud
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, said it out
and
loud.
just go. I'd expect nothing less. If I hadn't shed it in the pool when I come back, I'd be mad, honestly. Well, real quick then, while we're waiting, I'm gonna go. If it's okay with y'all, if I have a chance, I'm gonna go cast Commune and see where this stands before I actually decide.
All right. Where are you going to cast Commune? Up to the roof?
Yes.
You got it. It's your very familiar statue garden. You sit down cross-legged with underbrush in your lap and cast Commune.
All right. Do I feel the presence of Artemis like
Yes,
I normally
of course.
do? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure, because like I know sometimes it was just like silence.
Yes.
Um,
You hear the wind blow around you in a familiar way.
Okay.
Is it just me, or does? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
Does Artemis just kind of remind you of like the Wild Mother from Critical Role?
Yes. For
Kind
I
sure.
know, realistically, it would be Demeter more realistically.
Yeah,
like,
Demeter is more of an analog, yeah. But Artemis is like the
Whatever.
Wild Mother if the Wild Mother also had a longbow.
That sounds fucking great. I need that to be a thing.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So I went and talked to some of the druids in the forest earlier. I went to the last biome, but unfortunately, because of some stuff that's happening with, everything that's happening, I wasn't able to get the final gem. But I visited all the biomes and learned things in all the biomes, and there's no new animals for me to meet in the biomes. Would I be able to complete my little quest without that last gem, since it's kind of out of my control? Would you allow me to?
You hear her words, I guess, in your head, although it's sort of, you hear the words as you see an image sort of play out in your mind. You just hear, when a beast is attacking the town, the huntress cannot afford to hesitate in her shot.
Can I insight check if that's a yes or a no? Because I really don't have the brain power to interpret it.
Yeah, it feels like a yes. It feels like the message is like, in dangerous times, there's no use in being patient.
Ah, Siri, I'm so happy. Oh my god. All right. Okay. I don't know what fucking else to ask then.
You don't have to ask 3. You can let this spell pass.
I'm just gonna like say, okay, I honestly don't know what else to ask. So I'm just gonna let this kind of wind down. I'll hopefully see you soon.
A warm breeze. And the spell fades.
Okay.
While you're on the roof, you actually see Dardanian Iasis returning from the Temple of Zeus.
I'm gonna like run down, like skip around the corner, whole 9 yards.
drifts around the
Everyone
corner of the bottom
gathers
stairs.
in the... Huh?
Drifts around the corner of the
Yeah,
bottom
like
of the
Tokyo
stairs.
drift
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
corner, super happy.
Everyone gathers in the war room as Dardania and Iasis come back, and she's a little flushed, and she's like, well, talk to him. He is impressed. He just wanted to make sure that we learned the lesson, which I guess is that whatever idea we pitch, his feelings are quite clear, so we will need quite a convincing argument to change his mind. But he said that should we desire to be there for God's Sight Day, while he would not bring us there, if we climb Mount Olympus and get all the way there to the portal, he will allow the portal to let us through.
Holy shit.
Okay, but
How long
climbing
would it take
Olympus
us to
takes,
climb Mount Olympus?
It depends. Assuming that we could teleport some way up there, and then just hike the rest of the way. It depends on how far we can get the teleport.
Just
Well,
have Kai
I mean,
fly
I
up
can
and put the
fly
gate
up
stone on the
there.
very top. And then fly-
Yeah, I can fly up there and y'all can just teleport to me.
I don't think Mount Olympus is just a tall mountain. I believe it is protected by other means.
Yes,
would have to
it's like
climb it.
I could get us a bit closer.
With that information, I think I'm gonna go try and talk to my father and see if he has any ways, paths, avenues for us to get up there.
All
We
right.
now have permission.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
only makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll your D100.
Oh man, I hope this
I'll
works.
take everybody real quick and be like, hey, yo, after this is done, I'm going to the Acmonian Wood, by the way.
Okay.
Oh man, I think that worked. It's a 45.
Ooh, just
Can I
under,
subtract?
absolutely, yeah.
Can I subtract from that roll or not?
You
It's
don't
fine, it
need to.
works.
You're also not there. She's in the temple.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is a 47.
Yeah, 47, just under. Amazing.
Damns.
Good God. Y'all
So-
are killing it.
You sit in this temple and you just see a familiar man sit down next to you. Well, you guys have been busy.
Yeah, I'd say so. I tried reaching you before, but I guess you were busy. But
Lots of messages to send.
yeah. But we were able to complete Zeus's trial, and we now have permission to go to God's Sight Day and be there. The question is there a safe passage, a fast passage for us to go there? If you would know that.
Well, you can't quite take the passages I take. They're mortal-specific passages that you would have to follow. In terms of the fastest one, if you're going all the way from the base of the mountains, the fastest way to get there is from the city of Olympia. But if you can somehow start your journey from a little bit higher up in the mountains, the reality is, anywhere directly on top of Olympia is going to be closer and closer and closer to Olympus. Now, what I will tell you is that the length of the journey is not the problem. It's the protectors of the portal that you'll have to worry about.
Even though we have permission to go through the portal, we still have to.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's not a matter of getting past monsters or anything like that, but at the very top of Mount Olympus is a tribe of holy people. People whose entire lives are devoted to protecting that portal, making sure that anyone who passes deserves to do so. Now, if you go and tell them that you have permission from Zeus, that might go a long ways, but they might still feel a need to give you one last test or something like that.
And do you know what they normally will test?
Well, it depends what kind of mood they're in. Sometimes it's a battle of wits, sometimes a battle of muscle.
Okay.
Sometimes, there was one time, it was when Heracles was younger, before he was champion, he wanted to go talk to Zeus, and he made it all the way up there, and they asked him to tell him a joke, and he couldn't think of one for the life of him, and he never set foot on Olympus till he turned champion.
Okay. Well, thanks for that information. One more question I had for you. The reason why we're going to God's Sight Day. We want to try and pitch an idea of both the gods and the titans working together.
Yeah,
How
I've
would
heard.
you feel about that?
It's an interesting idea. You need to be real specific about how you're going to do it. Are you saying that we would let everyone just stay out?
Well, we were thinking of certain ones.
See, that's where you're going to get into some trouble. Because no one's going to willingly get back in that pit. Especially gods. If you have to make some sort of compromises, no god is going to go down to that prison on his own free will. But if you let them all out, well, then you got some direct conflict. What does Kronos do when Zeus rules? What does Oceanus do when Poseidon's king of the seas? It's
And that's
complicated.
what we have to think about for the next 4.5 weeks.
If you have that long. That's another thing I want to tell you while you've been distracted. Tromocrates has taken 2 other islands.
Should we move up this timeline? That was between the last. How long was it between the 2 that he took? Between like when we knew we had taken 3 versus the 5. How long did that take?
They're getting in quicker succession. The space between attacks is getting shorter. I just mean to tell you that I just want to make sure you have all the pieces on the board. If you're planning to make this trek to Mount Olympus, I'd give yourself a chunk of time for that. Who knows how close you'll be able to get and how much you'll have to do just on your own 2 feet.
Okay. Well, thanks for all the information, and I guess I need to go talk to everybody and figure out our timeline.
One last piece of advice. Before that day, make sure you're prepared. You only get one shot at this. And if you fall on your ass, there's nothing I can do to stop it.
Oh, I know.
Alright. Keep your wits about you. Gets up and walks out of the room.
We're all gonna die.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Now I'll go back and tell everybody all the stuff I learned about the tribe and that Tromocrates is moving faster, and we probably need to get another meeting going about what we're going to do and if we need to move up this timetable so Tromocrates doesn't destroy more of Gaia.
Can someone send Treya a message? Wait, how many days has it been again?
Since when?
Since Apple's Folly? Since we came back?
It's been a few days. It's been almost a week.
Okay. How long did they originally say it would take them to get back?
Well, they essentially said they're starting immediately, and if you have that entire time frame, then X will be prepared. But if it has to be moved up, then it'll still be okay. But there's just going to be less of what you guys wanted.
Yeah, because we said we were going to have
Underwater bombs and all that kind of stuff, and you might just have
Yeah.
fewer than the amount that you were wanting.
Okay.
Mhm.
And where... Do we see where Treya is? Like, make sure they've not eaten, like, the island that was in their path to Athens?
That's true.
I mean, who has message right now?
Don't you all got sending stones?
Not to.
Oh, wait,
do we
do
have
I?
one that try? Does
We
Triad?
do have
Right.
one with
I think I
Triad,
do
yeah.
have one that goes to Treya, don't I?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one I have goes to Triad.
Yeah.
Is it the
Oh,
one
that's
you have
right.
or the
Well,
one
I
I have?
used the sending stone.
So you can send one message.
What do you want me to say?
Who has it?
I do.
You or me?
Uh,
Didn't I have one?
I think
what's poppin'?
one of you has one to Cora.
I
Yeah.
thought they were all from the
I
same
don't have one
set,
to
though.
Cora. No,
They all connect together, do they not?
Of the
Okay,
3,
all
I
I
thought
know-
it was Ryujin and Nora. Cora had a set. Am I wrong?
I thought we gave one to Triea once we all came back.
I don't think we
Anyone
did.
wite it down?
No, I don't think we
I
did.
do
I know that
remember
I have one
specifically
because
we
I had
sent
it when I was
one
with providers.
with the art.
No, I think the plan was to always give one to the Ark, but I've been sending everything, and I didn't prepare sending because we were going to be of all the most important people in the world.
Well, I
Let's-
remember a couple weeks ago
Battlefield.
someone
That's
mentioned
where we were
something.
going.
I remember us sending one to Triea though with a sending stone.
That may have
Yeah, I
been.
I was
remember
under the
that.
Still
influence, or I
gone.
was under the impression that I had it because someone, when I had mentioned that, I had a sending stone, I thought someone corrected me and said it wasn't to Cora and you, it was to Triea a couple weeks ago. But I could be wrong.
No,
I
we only
don't
had the
think
one.
so. We
set.
only have the 3.
Yeah, Cora definitely
Okay.
has one. Honora has always head on to theirs, and then the third one has been the free one.
Yeah, because I've had one since I went on the route with the providers.
Well, the good news is
Right.
Vanix has sending.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought he did. So
Yeah, so,
So all three of
Vanix
us
can
have a
send.
sending stone. It's me, Cora, and Honora.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to establish that.
Yeah,
So I don't confuse
yeah.
it later.
All right. So, what do you want Vanix to send to Traya?
Hey, just checking in. Wanted to see where you were.
Are you Trimocrates?
Another island was swallowed by Trimocrates. What's up, dog? I don't know.
Alright, your boy.
You alive, bro?
Vanix sends the message, and you see their eyes sort of like look up as they're receiving a message back, and they go, "Well, she's safe. They're all safe. They're in Athens, but they did come across the remains of that island on their travel. They said it was horrifying to see the aftermath. But
Was it just-
progress is getting made in Athens.
Will the island just be gone, or is it just like really messed up and most of the land masses of like? Is it just
She
a
didn't get
sandbar
into
at this
detail,
point?
but it seemed like she was talking about just seeing remains floating in the sea.
See, get it? Sorry. Well, at least we know they're safe in Athens. I guess what should we all do next?
So who was all working on the underwater bombs and stuff? The one Smote and Paloma, and they're together now, right? We took
Yes.
Paloma over there.
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like we need to make some pit stops, stop by the one Smote and Paloma, see how far they are, then go to Athens because they're the ones making
Glyphs,
who's
right?
make the glyphs, right?
Social warning.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's them.
Yes.
Did we pay
so
them
we
already, or not yet?
I think you put down a deposit.
We have not paid everything yet, no.
Well, we just got like a bunch more gold, so that is good,
Sure.
right?
We can pay for things now.
Yeah.
Hey, just a, request. Is it possible that I could stop over at Gildor? Like, we've been alive for about a month, 2 weeks now.
and you
And
haven't seen your
I
And
have
your mom?
not seen my mom.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
mean,
Go for
if
it.
y'all want to do that while I go to the Acmonian Wood, we can all meet back here before we go on our actual like stuff we need to do for like.
Wait,
How?
I
I'm
have
How
like
long
three
will it
things
take?
I want to do.
There's a prophecy that like we'd have to be alive, but like my mom can't read, so that don't mean much to her. She'll kill me.
Okay, well,
She
if
don't,
you go see your mom.
she don't care that you're supposed to be alive for prophecy.
You know what? How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? You guys think about what your next moves are gonna be, and let's take our break right now, so that you can strategize and figure out what these next X amount of time will be. So, you guys think? Audience, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back. Let's hop right back into our story here. So, when we left off, the party was deciding where to go, what next to do on their adventures, and it seemed like they were a little bit split. So, what's the plan, guys?
I think we
Focus,
should have
focus.
that.
You've now lost your focus.
I think we should
We
have
said
that meeting
2 days
with everyone.
to do our personal things, right?
Yeah, we're gonna give us 2 days to do our little things around here, like go visit, like Alexios can go visit his mom, same thing with Adagio, and Honora can go do their thing, because I want to do some research as well
All
in the
right.
next couple days.
I know what
And
level
then
group we go
we'll
to.
do what after that?
All
Well,
right.
I'll go
So,
to the one smoke.
Go to the one smoke.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So we're
Okay.
saying this is going to be 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. So, who would like to go first?
Like you've done in 2 days.
I can. I
All
can
right.
do
So,
it.
Ilme, how are you spending your 2 days?
I wanted to go to the library and try and research as much as I can, if there's anything available about like the Titans and how they acted, and I'm trying to like gather evidence to support what we want to do so I can have as much information as possible for whenever we do this.
Alright,
It's like
go ahead.
2 days.
Go ahead and make an
If-
investigation check for me.
If you want, you could wait to do the research until, because I'm going to be going to Athens probably for those 2 days, and there's probably a more extensive library in Athens. I don't know if that's.
Which
Oh.
one would have a better library, Athens or?
I mean, Athens will have the better library for sure, but I'll have you make an investigation check anyway.
Okay.
On the little Oracle Island, was there like a library, or like a recording of her prophecy?
There was just there was just like pamphlets. There were like scrolls.
So I got a 24.
24. You guys have looked through this library a lot before, but specifically, you know that even in the Athens library, it would probably be slim pickings. A lot of the texts, the primary sources from the Age of Titans, have been destroyed, or they were just oral at that time and they weren't written down, and they've since been lost to time. So the few things you can see about the Titans are mostly what historians think about the Age of Titans, what they've gleaned from either elvish communities where there have been fewer generations since then, or from clerics who have learned from their gods. But it's generally believed that because these are all people looking back at this time, that there's a hefty degree of historical rewriting. And so, and you know this for a fact because everything you've heard about the Age of Titans growing up has always been this like dark, scary era, and from what you've heard from the Titans that you've interacted with, it doesn't seem like that was necessarily the case. But I will say, with that high of an investigation roll, that you would know that there is only one library in the world that still has primary sources from the Age of Titans in its records, which is the Heka Institute in Xander.
Okay. So with doing this research, could I also go find Forge and go into the special thing
Sure.
in Forge and see if I can talk to any of the Titans that we do have, talk to them about when they were out of this, how they ruled, what they want to do if they get out, if they would be willing to talk to me in any capacity.
Like a parole interview. What would you like to do? when
Yeah,
you're out?
basically. Okay, that's really interesting. Are you gonna focus on any particular Titan in there?
No, I think I want to try and ask as many as I can, so I have a broad spectrum.
Sure. Okay. Let me just pull this up here, so I'm not talking out of my ass.
Is it possible to Zone of Truth a link of time?
Not really, no. So what's the first question you're gonna ask?
I guess I want to ask how they ruled when they roamed the earth.
Okay.
Then I want to ask what they would do if they got out of these, and what would they do to the people here currently. Would they do what the gods did and create a purge?
Okay. The first one that seems interested in saying anything to you. So I'm just scrolling here. I'm trying to find it. Give me one second. Okay. The first one that says anything to you is Coeus, the Titan of Intelligence. You hear his voice in your head. It's a sort of a deep, gravelly voice. When I ruled with balance. I rewarded the wise. and I left the foolish to rot. If I were to be freed, the people of this world, the brilliant ones, the minds with creativity and promise, they would find that ideas came more easily, that calculations they had been working over suddenly became quite clear. But the foolish, who pretend to be smarter than they are, the foolish who use their personality to trick others into following them, then
The
perhaps
charismatic ones.
they would meet their demise.
You know what would be truly painful for this link? Giving it to Ryujin.
That's the punishment. Instead of putting it back in Tartarus, just
There's
make it
nothing here.
into Ryujin.
Yeah.
It's like, the lights are on, but no one's on.
But I would have one restriction. I will not share my domain. If I am the Titan of intelligence, then your Athena must focus entirely on other areas of her expertise. She has many things under her domain. Surely she can find something else to focus on.
Okay, take that into consideration.
Hyperion speaks next. You hear his voice emanating not in your head, but from the link itself. Sort of muted, because it's coming from the link, but still sort of booming. If I am freed, the skies will shine brightly. The light of Olympus will shine on all of us. When I ruled, creatures of shadow feared my name. Creatures of light found themselves empowered. As Helios went over the sky, he went with my blessing. Those who follow the light would find that their power exponentially increases. A spell that would cast sparks under my light would light a river on fire. And creatures of shadow, should they be foolish enough to get caught in my light, disintegrate, never to return again. There have always been multiple creatures in command of the skies. When the Titans took over from the Primordials, it was Helios. And I did not defeat my predecessor, no. I harnessed him, took a fraction of his power as my own. Your Apollo, I fear, might not come to the same conclusion.
And would you do anything to the people? Like, I said that the skies would shine brightly if you were freed, but so you said that the creatures of shadow would disintegrate. That would happen again if you were freed?
Undoubtedly.
Okay. Anybody else want to put in their opinions?
Iapetus. It's a sort of a different voice from the others. He goes, It's an interesting question. When I ruled, I was the more subtle of my brothers. I had no desire for glory like Dryas or Oceanus. I did not wish to rule like Kronos. I merely wished to influence from the shadows. In small ways. To better society. But part of my responsibility was working closely with Thanatos. And so I place pieces on the board and take pieces off. And should I return again, well, we might have to figure out where my niche is. After all, much of what I was responsible for has been taken over by Athena and Hephaestus. And other parts by Hades and Hermes. I do not know if there is room for all of us in the cosmos.
What was that, the Titan now?
Craftsmanship and mortality.
Real quick, when he said I was the more subtle of my brothers, I was half expecting the rest of the Titans in the room just go, yeah, we get it.
So craftsmanship and intelligence are two different Titans?
Correct.
I mean, craftsmanship and like wisdom and intelligence are also two different gods.
I mean, yes and no. Craftsmanship is mostly Athena's domain, except for some areas that are a little bit Hephaestus.
Yeah, it's a little like split like this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many links do we have? We have
Those three in the rod. Nemosthenes in the Beastlands, the Beast Wilds. Thea is with Poseidon. Themis is with the One Smote. Phoebe is with Adagio. And then Kronos, Crius, and Oceanus you do not have. Crius you assume is in the layer of Tixovan.
Okay, so I would also approach Phoebe as well with Adagio and get her opinion on things as well.
Phoebe allows herself to be heard by you, Ilme. She goes, I have an interesting role to play. Much like my sister Themis is a judge, I am a truth seer. I am a resource. When I ruled, I did not wish to have more followers than any of my others. If anything, I was a supporting figure, much like your father. It was my duty to warn my siblings of dangers to come, to guide them, to ensure that we survived another day. I've spoken much to your friend about what I might do if I were to return. I think it quite relies a lot on Apollo, and what he would wish of me, and what I would wish of him.
Okay. Cool. Taking all this into consideration.
Absolutely.
Trying to plan things. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's what I got.
All right. That is Ilme's 2 days. Who would like to go next? No one?
Me and Alexios can go, but I
I
wanted
mean,
to like
yeah,
decide that
I
together.
wanted to do something first. I mean,
Yeah, me too. Same. Okay, mood.
Just a little bit first.
All right, Alexios, you want to go?
Yeah, then like I guess before we head out, I'd go track down Cora.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just hanging out.
Hey, you got
Hi.
time?
Of course, yes.
Uh,
She's like
got a
cleaning her platinum mask.
got a favor. Would you be able to use that scrying bowl to look on someone for me?
Sure. Who?
Uh, my brother.
Your brother, or your not so brother?
Oh, my not so brother. I know where my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, need to be more clear on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. What's his name again?
Demetrios.
Demetrios. All right. Well, I've never met him, so it might be a little challenging. But I can certainly try.
Like, I can explain him. I'm not the best drawer. He has aliases.
That.
I can describe weapons. Does any of that help?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, it helps me understand him a bit more. But is there something particular you're hoping to glean?
Oh, where is he? If he's okay, alive.
All right. Yeah.
Just.
Okay. Is there any other anything? I don't know. I'll give it a go right now.
That item? It can do other stuff, right? I forgot everything that it could do.
Yes.
Potions, I think, too, right?
Yeah, it can
What
make
is it
potions of healing.
Oh, okay.
What is it called? Hold on, let me look it up.
Wasn't it just like a scrying?
Cauldron of Rebirth.
Cauldron of Rebirth, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't fucking know.
Yes, that's right. Cauldron of Rebirth.
I forgot that we can make somebody dead turn back alive again.
What?
I appreciate the way you said that. Instead of saying we can revive somebody, we can make somebody dead turn back alive.
Alright, so
Very necromancer.
you'd like her to cast Scrying to try to find Demetrios.
Yes.
Alright. She looks into the cauldron and casts the spell, and you see the waters in the cauldron begin to shimmer and ripple, and then it stills. I'm sorry, I couldn't find him.
Like, you felt resistance, or you reached out and there was nothing there?
I haven't done this very much, so I can't confidently say. But it felt as if there was not a valid target.
Oh. Okay. I'll just have to look into that. Sorry. So, me and Adagio are going to Gildor today. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered.
Of course.
Did you want to go with us? I mean, we're gonna go see my mom.
I'll be entirely honest, Alexios. I was absolutely not a help in that journey we just took. I couldn't hit for shit. I was unconscious for most of that first fight. It was a little embarrassing, to be quite frank, but the reality is I was never meant to be a fighter. I was never meant to be out there adventuring like you and your friends. I was only traveling to learn how to be a craftsman, and I find myself now as the center of this intelligence network and rebellion, and while I appreciate the offer, I think my place is here.
Okay, I was gonna wait to talk about that. And, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I selfishly enjoy you being safe here. Uh, but that was more so the point of me inviting you and not saying anything about that. I mean, yes, you are one of the greatest minds in all of Gaia, and I say that with humbleness. But you're also a person, and I mean, a trip to Gildor with um somebody who cares about you seems like a nice switch up of the general stuff, like beholder fighting or death of, I mean, somebody you possibly grew up with, possibly, you know?
It's true. Are you going to see your mother?
Yeah.
Might be nice to see her again.
And sort the offer.
How long are you going?
I mean, I don't even think a whole day. I think I'm truthfully going to get hit a couple times and we're gonna hug and I don't know. Then we're gonna be right back to business. It's just a little detour.
Alright. Alright. But I have to be back by tomorrow.
We might be back by today. I mean, like, we have beds and stuff here. I don't want to sleep with my mom.
Alright. Then let's go.
Alright, I'll go get Adagio. I don't know. Do you have to, like, disguise? Of course. It's his mom's house.
Right. No, yeah, that makes total sense. Yes.
I mean, listen, there'll be kids. It's his hometown. We'll have a lot of time.
Of course.
It's okay.
No, I don't need to disguise it. I won't take my mask. That is my public face. So this face, no one really knows.
Oh, that. I should have thought of that. That's actually quite.
Yes. That's why my organization uses them.
Alright, you stay here or I'll meet you out front. I'll go get the shiny guy.
Right, yeah, I'll freshen up, I suppose. Alright.
Yes, I'm gonna go get Adagio.
Alright, Adagio, before that happens, what was that thing that you wanted to do?
I want to go spend time at the Oracle's temple.
Okay, doing anything in particular?
Yeah. Not really. I'm gonna talk to Phoebe. Actually, I don't remember if I brought Phoebe here before. I'm like, this is where your daughter used to see prophecy.
She's uncharacteristically quiet, but when she does speak, she just says, "Thank you for bringing me here. I can feel her energy."
I only met her once, but she was.
I only met her once too.
Oh no! Surprise. So you know how like other oracles like really cool like gimmicky thingies? Well, I mean I haven't met a lot, obviously. I've only met like two. But one of them would throw herbs into a fire and like I assume, get high and see visions of the future. Usually, I just see them either through you or when I fall asleep. And I want to know if there's like a way for me to like find my quote unquote.
Yes, there is. Think of the herbs as a focus, much like your arcane friends have a focus to channel their magic. It is not the source, it is a focus. For some it is herbs, for others it is cards or crystal ball. For others it is dreams. While your natural instinct seems to be dreams, it does not mean that that is your limit or your limitation. If you would like to try other focuses, all you must do is collect focuses and try them out and see which ones work for you.
That's so low. Okay, so I still have a sack of herb from that dude. I never used it.
Yeah, you do.
I guess I would have to collect the other ones. So the ones I would know of would be like tarot cards,
Yep.
crystal ball,
Yep.
and then like the herbs, quote unquote.
Yeah, and there's other ones too, like reading signs, reading bones, reading blood. Like there's a whole bunch. Yeah.
I think tarot card. I'll go into town and buy a tarot card and a crystal ball, and then I'll like run into Alexios.
Okay, great.
You just saying that so you can draw the tarot cards later.
Don't fight me on this. I want like
you
them to be like-
receive a deck of blank tarot cards with
exactly,
just the names.
so I can paint them in. Are they blank so that I can like when I flip them, they show me like the piece of the future.
Yeah.
They're constantly changing
Yeah.
as they absorb my energies.
Alright, then you meet up with Alexios, and Cora is with him as well.
Oh. Hello. Bro.
Hi.
Bro strip.
I thought this was a date, so you're fine.
Okay, heard. So he's awkward.
I'm not awkward. I just can't. I can't go to your house without you. And like, it's my mom,
So you
Cora.
bring your-
Like
Okay.
they know each other. And
Okay, heard.
like,
I can't wait for you to meet my mother and my aunt and all of my adoptive siblings because we're just one giant family, Cora. Have you ever
see how
wondered?
personal was it gonna be with all them?
Have you ever wondered where all the gold or gold
I-
coins come from? Because I'll
I
show
did.
you.
I'm very excited.
Are we, I assume, taking the carriage
Sure. Yes.
and horses?
Yes. 2 horses and a carriage, absolutely. Yeah, but there's a carriage. Please.
Or we could all go
We've
on
made
a
a lot
horse.
of adjustments since you've been gone.
Let's all go horseback riding.
We have 3 horses if you'd like.
Well, I have my own familiar. Well, steed.
Are you coming on a Pegasus?
I'm coming on a Pegasus. I want to make a grand entrance to Gildor. I want my mom to see him on a white Pegasus and be like, "Is that my son who ran away months ago and never talks to me?" Yes, mom, that's me.
All right. Well,
I mean,
Alexios,
if we go in
you'd
a
like-
carriage and you go in a Pegasus, it's kind of like a date, right?
Sure, for the commute.
I guess I'll-
absolutely.
Sure, yeah. I'll just be flying above you.
Yeah.
So-
Have fun with your horse.
I will just mention that to get to Gildor on horseback is going to take you about a day and a half.
Ew.
Oh,
Mine was just to fly.
The
I was
very,
just to
the
fly.
very first thing you guys ever did was go straight through the forest from Loons to Delphi, which was already a shortcut, and that took about 12 hours. And you're now going down the actual path and way past Looms to Gildor, just so you know what you're doing.
What if I flew on my
Oh.
Pegasus ahead and they just gate stamped?
In my head,
In
fast
my
travel
head.
existed, and we've been to both places.
I thought that too.
That's what happened to me. Somehow we
I
became
mean-
able to travel faster.
Technically, fast travel exists. It just exists with Ryujin, who's not with you.
Right.
Or who could give me the helmet and I could just teleport us all to my own hometown?
He's going to Athens, isn't he?
I'm only
Well,
going
it
for a
takes you
day.
like 2 hours to fly over anyway. Just
Will
like,
it take me 2 hours to fly over?
How fast is the Pegasus?
Oh, wait, I have him saved actually. Hee hee. Let's find out.
60 feet flying speed. Oh.
I think it'll take 80.
That up. You know how
It's 90.
we all said
I
this was
don't need this
Percy
shit.
Jackson?
I don't need this shit. I could just cast fly. If we cast fly on ourselves, can't we just Superman over
How many times can you cast fly?
the forest?
Yeah, how long does that last?
How long does it
fly-
take to
fly
cast, and
last?
how long does it last?
Just let me fly and Gates on over.
Is it like an instantaneous, like you gotta say a word and then it happens, or do you need to like take, a few
And then
minutes?
you can take
do, like,
Cora on a
ritual?
proper date.
Yeah, so if the Pegasus can go 90 feet, you can certainly cut down that commute to maybe 3 hours.
I'm a piece.
Real quick while I'm thinking about it. You know how Sammy said that we all said this was Percy Jackson, but it's actually Hades Town?
Yeah.
In honor of that, I grabbed my Hades Town cup.
Hey, amazing.
All right, I'm gonna turn to them and be like, let me just fly ahead, and I'll like lean into Cora and be like, hey, maybe they'll take you on a proper date while I'm gone.
Wonderful.
And then I'll turn to Alexis and be like, take this poor girl out to lunch. I'll be like, well,
all right.
I'll
Are
summon
we-
my
are you-
Pegasus right there.
Are you doing it so that there's a Gatestone split
Yeah.
thing happening? Okay, great.
I assume so, at least. I
Great.
go all the way there and I'm like, I don't have a Gatestone. Heard. Hi, Mom. How's it going?
right,
Alexis,
so-
hi, Mrs.
So Alexios, you have 3 hours to kill if you'd like to do anything in particular.
There's no vegetation anymore. I can't take her out
Correct.
on a date.
Oh, that's
I,
right, Demetrius.
she goes,
can't,
I have some good berries if you'd like.
That
How
okay,
are they getting all
sure.
these good berries?
They
Okay,
have a
before I
plethora.
It's
leave,
magic.
can I like create food and water and just like picnic and be like, okay,
Oh,
bye.
that's fun. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be like, treat her nicely. You're welcome,
like-
Cora.
Thank
These
you.
good berries disappear after 24 hours.
No, they lose their potency after 24 hours.
I thought they completely like disappeared.
No.
I'm an
We just
idiot.
have-
though.
Don't we have people on our own team who are just constantly making them anyway? Just like, boop,
Yes.
boop, boop.
Vanix does it every day.
I'd be like, Cora, oh,
So
I like to think we just have like a magic
Cora
system
sits at
of
this
someone just making
magical
berries.
feast,
You're
and
welcome.
and she just starts eating, and you guys have 3 hours of lovely lunch date.
Would you say 90 feet per whatever the F is too fast to be looking at a crystal ball?
100%. Yes. You are
What these
flying
flashing
through the
images?
Yeah. No way. No way.
Okay, I was just spending the whole time talking to Phoebe, I guess. I'll be like,
Okay.
"Phoebe,
Is
teach me
that
one
the
of your
guy in the
songs."
equivalent of texting and driving?
100%.
Like you're just throwing more shit.
A bird goes.
You know that dude
Sorry.
that we just didn't kill who threw people in jail? He's gonna come after your ass
Yeah.
for crystal
I'm
balling
weak.
and driving.
All right. So about 3 hours later, Adagio, you see the familiar home that you grew up in, and you see all these red and blue clothed youths running around
God.
the yard. But surrounding this building are the beautiful flowers that you've heard so much about when you were a kid. You see a woman outside watching the kids, who is looking up as you approach. You recognize your aunt, Elle.
Elle.
As you land, she gives you an enormous embrace, and she just looks at you. It's about damn time you came home.
No, sorry, Auntie. I'm bad. And I totally forgot to change my outfit from white and gold to the classic red and
Yeah,
blue.
what are you wearing? What the hell is this?
I took some creative liberties. Auntie, please. I'm not a child anymore.
You hear one of the kids go, "It's Adagio!" And suddenly you're getting swarmed by these orphans in their uniforms.
I want to like rage and like group pick up as many as I can and just like squeeze them. Oh,
one of them's
children.
like, "Is that
my
a
God.
tail? That's so cool."
Wait a minute. These
Huh.
kids are like 3 years older than the last time I saw them.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, they're
Some have been adopted. Some are gone.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sad now.
But Elle goes,
You're
come
sad
in,
they
come
got
in.
adopted?
No, I'm sad that they're
Oh,
old.
You're sad they have a better life.
How dare they get adopted without me here?
Elle goes, come in, come in. Ari! Ari, come look! And he's on a Pegasus, come look!
Let me shoot a message to Alexios. I'll send it to Cora.
Yeah.
Y'all can wrap it up and head over now.
Understood, thank you very much. She turns to you, Alexios. He's ready whenever we are.
She's like, actually, I'm enjoying this. Let me just not tell him.
I suppose I have the gate stone.
Shall we?
I have the gate stone, or
Yes, yes.
okay, yeah. Then we're gonna high five and then do the whole.
Not a high five.
as,
I don't
as,
know.
as they
just
appear next
pictures
to
the
you,
Wonder
Adagio,
Twins.
you see Cora's very confused look, because she was definitely going in for a kiss, and they've high-fived, and
Oh,
everything's a little weird. And now you're surrounded by a bunch of kids, and all these kids are like, oh, 2 new people!
I'll be like, children, please. This is
think-
Alexios.
I think stealing the gate stones was the smartest thing I've ever done in
100%. It made you found cheat codes for the campaign.
This is Alexios,
Horrible.
the single-handedly most smartest and dumbest person you will meet. And this is his beautiful girlfriend Cora, who's with him for who knows what reasons. Hi, Cora, say hi to the children.
Hi, kids. How are you? Everyone's like, wow. There's one girl that goes, you're really pretty. She goes, oh, thank you very much. You're beautiful. Shall we head inside?
Can I like let Cora walk first and be like, idiot? I gave you 3 hours.
What did I
3
do?
hours with her. You what? She
We
wanted
had
to
a
kiss
date.
you. She wanted to kiss you.
I didn't know. How would you know that? I didn't know that.
What do you mean? 3 hours of lunch and what I assume is great conversation doesn't usually end with a high five.
How did you know it was a high five? I just thought it was like we had to touch the hands in the gate stone. It seemed appropriate more than a kiss.
You know,
You don't want
I'm
to
gonna start
teleport by the
reading
lips.
you-
You never teleport head first. That's a
I'm
rule.
gonna start reading you the love trials of Apollo, and you'll learn how to treat a woman.
Well,
And-
I feel like you should have did that before.
It's too late now. You already have one.
At
Yeah.
this point, you see a woman in the doorframe who looks at Adagio with tears in her eyes. She goes, get over here now.
I will
And
not
she's-
hesitate.
Puts you in this enormous embrace. She kisses you on the forehead. She just looks at you, inspecting you. She goes, you look old.
I'm gonna like put my hand over like my neck where I was like slaves. Yeah, I look great, Mom. You look great.
She
She
looks
have like
past
gray
you.
streaks now.
Yeah, like just a few gray streaks. She
No.
looks past you at the Pegasus. She just goes, is that...
That's my horse. That's my ride. That's Heart's Honor.
Oh, you have so many stories to tell. Come in. You must be Alexios.
Is that a hand? I'm just gonna like move straight past it and give her a hug. We're family. My mom lives here.
Yes,
Ah,
I've heard
you
so
could-
much about you.
Thank
My
you,
name is
Dad.
Ari. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
My mother gets a hug, but Cora gets a high
Oh.
five.
Literally kissed before. Okay, listen.
Come in. Your mother's inside. She'll love to see you.
Well, not C, but
Well, of course.
Oh, you're an ass.
Adagio. It's insensitive.
She lived
okay.
to.
That was perfect.
I think-
You guys all make your way inside, and it is a fairly large interior for a relatively small building. You've walked into what is essentially this enormous kitchen, and you see there are these long tables where the kids would be able to sit and eat all as a group. Currently, there's only a few kids scattered throughout, but you see at a table in the corner is Alexios, your mother, working on a little craft. But as you guys walk in, she stops. Is that you?
Who? I'm looking for Roxanne. I have a letter.
Oh. Make a deception check.
I feel the magic from you.
The spirit of Ryujin is with you.
Okay. That is a deception. I think
have
that
like half a mind to use my divination.
do you want to?
You
Please?
can
For a good one?
take
Nah,
a
'cause
14.
it's an 8. It's an
You can
8.
take a 14. My lower of the two.
Alright.
16.
16? She goes, oh. Yes, of course. Sorry, I thought you were someone else.
So yeah, people say I have that kind of face. So we have a letter.
Who is it from?
I don't know why I can't think of any other name besides
Just say
Steve
it's
right
from
now.
you.
Say Alexios' name, but weird.
I like stare at Cora.
Thank
like,
you. That's a. It looks like Alexios.
I said weird.
He would know not to
It's
send a
like-
letter.
It looks
Alexius?
like
Alessios?
Who's Alexius?
It's upside down.
Yeah, like
Seals
that.
Alexa.
She
Alexa!
just slowly just puts her craft down and stands up and approaches the sound of your voice. You said Alexios?
Yep.
That's my son. But he wouldn't have written me a letter. He couldn't have.
Yeah, I agree because he'd be here to hug you and say he's sorry for not coming here straight away, and that he's a horrible son. Please don't kill me.
Wow.
Dexterity saving throw.
He would be right.
Check.
He would be right. That he should have come the moment he could. But he would be wrong. That he's a horrible son. And she embraces you. But then she does use a little slap and she goes, but he is an idiot.
I agree.
You told me you wanted me to be a hero, and then heroes get busy, and sometimes they die, and
I didn't
go on
think
heroin trips to the underworld and come back.
you really went to the underworld.
You didn't know I
My mom would be
died?
like,
I knew you died, but I just want to hear all about everything that's happened to you, boy. Ari sits down next to you and goes, yes, I'd actually love to hear all of that as well, please. And Elle sits down too and goes, yes, please.
not
Better
the
spend
twins.
so much
Not
time
the
explaining
twins.
So,
everything this
I
woman
turn
is
to my mom.
breathing over you.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
turn
it
to
for free.
Alexia's mom. I'm gonna turn to Alexia's mom and be like, he high-fived her! He high-fived the woman! What?
Not Cora. I thought... And Cora goes, I am here, Roxanne. She goes, oh, my dear, it's so lovely to have you back here. He high-fived you? She goes, it was a moment of stress. I think we just sort of got our wires crossed. It really doesn't matter. Alexios, you were talking about when you were in the underworld, right?
Hell of a segue.
Okay. Before we jump into that, I just want to address the fact that I'm really awkward, and I don't think we should read too much into this.
Can we also talk
because
about
I feel
the
like
most...
this is an authentic thing. Just
Can I just say, the most awkward person in the party is also the one who slept with a rock star and actually has a girlfriend.
That is true. Yo, Alexios
It
pulls,
works.
man.
Like, we give him all this shit, but
It
so
works.
you can spend a few hours telling your relatives everything, and for a while, there are only a few kids here listening, and then eventually there becomes a whole crowd of kids listening. And then as the story continues on, it sort of becomes a mix of people listening to your story and other people outside playing with the Pegasus. So it's a bit of a blend, but you can tell by the looks on these kids' faces and on the looks on your mother's faces that it's the first time you're really telling this part of your story in depth, and perhaps it's the first time that you're realizing just how compelling the story is, and how it sounds like the stories of heroes of legend.
I'm gonna make sure to embellish like all of Adagio's parts because his mom is there. Like just and Adagio saved us. Like actually, I'm just gonna start throwing that in there. And yeah,
I'm gonna make sure to spill food on Alexios so that I can get him into one of our orphan outfits.
this is okay.
Like,
there's only really just water because there's not really much food.
my god, what? It's okay, I have the smoke prepared. If anything, there's a big feast.
Like a greasy chicken leg or something.
But even as you guys get ready to leave, Ari does offer you a uniform just because she feels like she's like I'm so sorry. There's not more that I could offer you, but you have been keeping my son safe for all this time. There's so little I can give and so much that I wish to. So if this clothing is the least I can do, then please let it be just the beginning of my debt to you and all of your friends.
Oh, Mom.
Actually, I feel like we owe you more. I mean, this thing that you do, it means a lot. I mean, do you need any help? We have a lot of gold. Have you ever thought of expanding? Do you need help? Do you need...
I'm okay. With my sister, we are more than capable. Now that the sun has returned, I want for nothing.
110% thought you weren't about to thank her for what she does. I thought you were about to thank her for giving birth to Adagio and indirectly thanking her for sleeping with Apollo.
I thought you were gonna thank her for taking care of your mom.
Two different kinds of people here.
I'm just...
Do I have to leave
Adagio
them? No, we don't.
and being around Adagio has kind of taught us about the
Right.
the good a place like this could do. And I always thought that if I met you, I'd want to do something like that. So
maybe you can. It's less about expanding my operation and more finding people like me in every town, because I assure you, there are people like me in every town.
I mean, we've met a few.
Good.
I mean, I think because of us, a person like you kind of got caught up in assassination type. It's crazy. Did I tell you about that part? Sylvan.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's so many adventures. They all sort of.
Yeah. Don't have them like perform for monarchs. It's really sticky, and kids really seem unassuming, so they're the perfect Trojan horse.
Would you mind if I
That
asked a
happened.
question that I feel more comfortable asking you as opposed to my son?
Oh.
No problem.
You saw Apollo in his new form, right?
Yes.
Hold up, how does she know about that?
We told her
They just
everything.
told her the story.
Okay, I didn't know that like we went to the new
Yeah.
form thing. That's what I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
I think we just told
It's
both
already
moms
happened.
everything.
I'm not hiding it.
Adagio's mom is a BEG.
She goes, I'm sure he's different. Of course he's different, but is he still beautiful?
I feel like Phoebe's just like red hot on my finger. Phoebe's just saying,
So, I like to be candid about things like this, and honestly, I'm kind of biased. I think the foreman within itself is beautiful, yeah, but I think that's not the question you want to ask. I mean, I think he's still the entity that he was before, if that's what you mean. Adagio didn't see any difference. Everything seems the same.
Just only imagine that kind of transformation. It can't be easy on someone's soul. I hope he's still the man that I knew.
I want to sad hug my mom.
To be
Mom.
honest, from the way I saw it, when it happened, me and Adagio had a hand in it. I mean, I'd be worried about him. I know I could say for myself that I felt guilty about it for, as long as it happened. I mean, the gods make their decisions and they've been alive forever. I mean, they're gonna be okay. I think as a whole we worry about them too much, right?
Perhaps you're right.
Adagio's had a hard freaking time.
Yes, he has. Son, are you listening to everything I'm saying?
Of course. I'm always listening. I'm always. What?
Then keep yourself safe. And keep him safe too.
Adagio's like our moral compass. I mean,
Is he?
we'd be nowhere without him.
Well, then I like to say that I'm your moral compass's moral compass.
Yeah, literally. There's a voice in the back of my head right along Phoebe. It's my mom.
Right along who? Did you tell her that part?
I think the sun is setting.
Yes, you best be getting back. I'm sure you
I
have
wonder.
much more heroics to get to.
Can I like psychically ask Phoebe? Is it
Yeah.
okay if like they have a conversation? I'm like, you both loved him. Would that be weird if you had a conversation with my mom?
I don't feel the connection that I feel to you with your mother. While we both spent some time with Apollo, our relationships were quite different.
My mom and
Under the little caddy, I don't know, man.
But I'll tell my mom
I
that
don't know.
I'll be like, you know how moms always know best? I could actually see the future now, so I think you'd say I know best.
Do take care of him, Alexios. And
Of course.
Cora, take care of them both. You see, Cora's like just outside, like trying to make the kids orderly so they can one at a time pet the Pegasus and not freaking out. And she's like, "Oh, I'll do my best. No guarantees."
You better give me.
Boys, we must get going. It's getting dark.
So the plan to
Just
get back was
Give me 1 minute with my mom real fast.
Of course.
Adagio, you don't listen.
What do you mean? I don't listen. I don't.
I'm just
I
saying.
really don't.
I know you were listening with my mom, or your mom. Don't listen with mine.
Oh, I thought you meant in general. I was like, I really don't. Sometimes it's just pieces of information just fall into place, and my brain's like, I know this, I think.
I know you're always making it into something coherent, though. So I don't.
I guess I won't listen to you and your mom's private conversation. I'm gonna go bother Cora. I'm
Thank
gonna do the opposite of Cora. I'm gonna be like wild with the children.
You're the fun dad. She's the rule mom. I love
It's
it.
like, why?
Alexios, you sit down next to your mother, and she just places a hand on top of yours.
Hey, before we get started, just a question: have you ever have you heard from Demetrios at all?
No, not since before all of this.
And neither is Bay.
No. Why? What do you know?
Nothing. I know nothing. That's alarming. I have to. I'm gonna. I'm gonna get in touch. Okay.
Okay. If you need a place to start, the last we heard of him, which was years ago, was he was fighting down in the Spartan territories.
Yeah, I heard. I just. Yeah. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna handle that, and I'm gonna get word to you. I don't know how to say this. Me and Cora are close now. That was a pretty good call.
She sort of just pats your hand. She goes, "Mothers always know."
I really don't want to admit it because I mean it kind of gives off this weird vibe, like maybe I like her just because you told me to, or I'm really like a mama's boy. Like it's really uh off-putting for me, but I actually like her and don't know how to move forward with that. I just needed to tell you that it's a thing so you can not say weird stuff in her presence anymore.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. If I can give you any piece of advice, Alexios,
Don't
allow
high
yourself.
five her. I get it.
Yes, allow yourself to be happy. You deserve happiness, but also hearing the stories of your adventures. You are surrounded by danger, and until that danger is put to rest, until you can rest, just be cautious. Your enemies, they can use the ones close to you to hurt you.
Okay, so I already thought about that. I'm gonna marry her tomorrow and build a giant robe to be a-okay. I'm just joking. Yeah, we've talked about it. We're gonna. I don't know. We fought a beholder and it almost kind of killed her, and I thought maybe stalling out for you know hey, I like you, what is this, that might be a little risky because she could just get killed tomorrow, or I could. I ran into a dragon. I don't know if I told you that, like two or three of them. I've met 5 dragons since I've seen you last. uh so um yeah, we've talked about it. We don't see a need to rush. We recognize the fact that one of us could die during all of this. It just seems stupid to wait. It seems like something my dad would do. I'm tired of being a planner. I want to be more of a doer.
I support you. You know, your father was very patient. It took a long time when he met me. You don't need to follow in his footsteps.
Right? Like, it's just. I assumed he was boring. Like, it was. I'm sure
He
you
was
got, like, jewelry and stuff, but, like, then it's. Oh, I'm sad.
he
I
was
may be
anything
disfigured.
he was anything but boring.
I mean,
You must
I assume we.
understand, your father is a very troubled man. He's haunted by his mistakes. He believes that if he had only been smarter, if he had only thought about every possible way that his inventions could go wrong, then he wouldn't be in the place he is now. He's constantly trying to perfect and fix his own mistakes, but even he cannot go back in time.
I don't know the Gaian equivalent to you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
There are sports.
But I mean, I know they have like wrestling and you
Archery?
100% of
Archery?
the grapples you don't make. I don't
And
know.
they're called spells you don't cast.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, 100% of the fireballs you don't say the incantations for. I don't know. Long story short, I mean, I think that's where me and him disagree. I don't want to sit here and think about everything I shoulda, woulda, or coulda did. I mean, it's if you fuck up something, at least you're changing it, and if you change it, there's room for better. But if you're not doing anything, you're really just condemning everybody else and yourself around you, right? Especially if you're a god.
Perhaps.
I mean,
He takes some time to learn those lessons. You've heard the story of Mechanus?
No?
He grew tired of Gaia. He grew frustrated with how imperfect everyone was. How humans made mistakes that could have been so easily fixed if they had not been such imperfect creatures. So he created a new plane called Mechanus, and he filled it with metal creatures of his own design, running like perfect clockwork, perfectly synchronized, always doing exactly what they were supposed to do, always part of a larger whole, a perfect society. And do you know what he did then? He grew bored of them. If everyone is perfect, if everyone does exactly what they're supposed to do at every moment, then there's no humanity. There's no creativity. There's no inspiration. There's no spontaneity. There was just the endless droning of his creations. And so when he returned to Gaia, left Mechanus, suddenly he had a new appreciation for the imperfections in the people here. He's just never quite been able to accept that in himself.
Sounds like the fucker didn't want to water his own grass.
Perhaps. I've never been to Mechanus. Very few people ever have, but you are getting more powerful by the day. You're surrounding yourself with incredibly powerful people. If you ever find yourself in a different plane of existence, maybe poke around Mechanus. There might be fun things for you to experience there.
Will do. I mean, I'd much rather make where I am better, but
That's true too.
I'm not Mechanus. But just drop the knowledge on you.
All your power, and you still need your mother to give you a history lesson.
I mean, yeah, like what else would you be good for? It's not like you
Um,
be able to. I don't what
Be very careful
parents.
with what words come out of your mouth.
Take that shit
I
back
wanna,
right
like,
now,
Parents
bro.
are for
You take that shit
wisdom.
I want
back
like
right now.
Alexios to hear just a loud
Parents
gasp
are for
behind him.
wisdom.
She
You're
like
not
pulls
even
out her
turns around and
cheek.
Adagio's been to listen the whole time.
Yeah, Adagio actually
Cora
mentally
walks
linked
in, she
all
goes-
of us, and we've
she goes-
been hearing everything.
She goes, Alexios, I do think it's time for us to depart, unfortunately.
Yeah, getting a little hairy in here. See you, Mom.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek. Stay safe.
Of course, you too. Unless I die again, and then like, I'll be back to visit probably.
If you die again, I'm going to fucking kill you.
You'd have
I
to
believe-
die to find me again. It's complicated. I figured out how that whole thing works. It's yeah.
Alright, so you guys say goodbye to the kid. There's one really little kid that's crying because the Pegasus is about to go away, and she's very sad about it. But all these orphans say goodbye to you all.
I'll say goodbye by name each one.
Yeah,
Bye,
great.
Samantha. Bye, Sandy. Bye, Cersei. Bye.
Before you guys depart as well. Ryujin, what are your 2 days?
So I was just gonna go to Athens, and see if. Honestly, I was just gonna spend time with Treya and see if Theseus needed help with anything, or if there's any way I could be of assistance, because there's not a whole lot of personal stuff that Ryujin needs to take care of. I mean, there's kind of fill in the void.
Got it. You head to Athens, and there have been a few updates. Several updates, actually. First of all, the Tromocrates is here, and so you get to see how Theseus interacts with Triea, which is fascinating. Seeing Theseus purposely tries to sort of keep his distance when in public, but in private, he and Triena are often having meals with Triea or talking, just experiencing time with Triea. It's very, very sweet. You also see Theseus with Anemios, and it's like two old friends getting back together, and they're laughing, and it's very sweet. All of it's very sweet.
Very wholesome.
It's very wholesome. It's very like Thanksgiving special of your favorite sitcom. But there is more to it than that as well. Theseus is concerned, especially with the most recent island that was taken by Tromocrates. It's the closest it's ever been to Athens. And so many that are working on this project are worried that we might not have the time frame that we want. And so they're trying to get as much done as possible so that if we need to enact the plan early, it'll be what it'll be. Right now, they have made all of the glyphs of slow that were planned, but they haven't gotten to the higher level ones yet. They wanted to start with the ones that they knew they could do fairly quickly, and then we'll get to the more complicated spells, the synaptic static and the vitriolic sphere.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And is it the person that makes the glyph needs to put the spell into that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. You also learned that Paloma and the Once Smart have had a bit of a breakthrough. That they have figured out how to make the mines arcanically fused so that they, when they go off with force damage, which they're hoping is going to be much more effective than fire damage.
Awesome, yeah.
Beyond that, the Athenian Navy and the Athenian Army are just training. They're preparing themselves. The mages have done a sort of an inspection of the Colossus to ensure that everything on the Colossus is ready to go, and that there's not going to be any sort of enchantments that need to be reinforced on the day or anything like that. They are preparing for battle, and just hoping that they have more time.
Did I ever, Alexios? Did I ever talk to you about? Because you have that like, is it just a vial of water from the sticks?
Yeah.
What was our plan with that? I can't remember. I remember we talked about a couple different things.
Either wanted to turn it into
Poisonous
itself,
something.
and or like poison and like dip someone's like weapon in it or something.
Maybe do we try and formulate that in here somehow so we could maybe, I don't know, poison Drachmae?
That'd be like an elm.
Yeah, like how deadliest poison known to man is like implied, but can it kill a kraken? Can it kill the kraken?
That was when it was consumed, right?
Like if we prick him with it, is he gonna like shrivel up or something? Like what's?
I mean, it's not that great. I mean, like you saw this poison in effect when it killed Phaeton. It didn't like disintegrate him. It just killed him. But I'll also add that is not just pure Styx water. That was a poison derived from Styx water. So you still need to figure out how to do that.
Okay.
So
if we were to hypothetically do that and get this poison, could we then coat it on the Colossus's weapon, and so when he hits Drachmae?
I mean,
That's a
I don't think you
lot
have
of-
that's a
enough.
lot of freaking poison.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah, that's
vial of Styx water.
I imagined
That's fair.
more like
Alright.
putting the poison into that weird bowl that holds the trident.
And I will. Oh, that's a fun idea. But I will also add that if you make it wrong, Styx water by itself makes that thing immortal. So you gotta really make sure that you make your thing correctly.
Yeah, get
Wait,
Hades
hold
to
on.
give us a bunch of
Whoa, whoa,
poison
whoa.
derived from the sticks. There we go.
You said Styx
Accidentally
water
made
makes you immortal.
Drachmae immortal.
If you soak in it, like that's the story of Achilles, how Achilles was dunked in the river Styx, besides where he was being held by his ankle, which is why his ankle was his only weak spot.
What does his heal?
That's what I mean. I'm in his heel, yes.
Sorry, no,
It's
I was
vaguely
like,
the
is it
same
different
area.
in this one?
It's where it's
Yeah.
at is vaguely the same
Realistically,
Yeah.
it would have been like most of his heel
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
That'd be really weird to hold a baby from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just by the heel. You
Let
dip
me
it
just
Just
put
right
him
all
on
and
the
this
way.
baby
tendons.
into like the water and just he'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Just on the tendon, exactly where your Achilles tendon is at,
Yeah.
is where they were holding him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
if
it was
dip
named
my
after
hand
him,
in
so.
this Styx water, I'm gonna have an invincible hand.
If you survive,
If you survive.
well, you'd also have to get back to the
what,
sticks.
what DC
Didn't you ever read
what is
Percy
that,
Jackson?
Constitution? Is that Constitution?
That would
No.
definitely be a constitution, yes.
We talked about it too. We were like,
What
it's like
DC
a
is
30
that? That's
buff
like a
or
30.
something.
Yeah.
DC 30 Constitution.
And we
saving
talked about
throw.
the different ways we would get up to like a
Disadvantage.
30.
Yo, how would
Yeah.
baby survive that? How would baby make that need?
His mother's love.
Yeah.
That's exactly
It was
what
it was
I
the Harry Potter method. His mother's love made him survive it.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that as a joke,
He
but
had
that's
like
basically
7
the
artificers
actual
around
myth.
him. He post-fived them.
Or it's
Every
possible
time.
that Achilles was the first one to attempt it, and then once that happened, and they were like, "Ooh, that's
The
what happens
DC
if you
was
do
like-
that," then the Styx was like, "Nah, we can't have that. We can't have that."
The first
This
time I
is
worked in
Six
DC
just
was
went,
lower.
No.
They said no more of those. Please.
No
Okay.
more Achilles, please.
How much can we dilute the poison and keep it? Should we see a poisoner for this?
I think we decided yes.
I
thought
mean, y'all
Ilme
poisoners,
looked into
but
it, right?
like,
The only person that, like, even Ilme's like master would like have a heart. I don't remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Why,
not
like-
good enough.
But even wasn't it said like even your master would like, but your master wouldn't be able to, or they
Like
would
it would be a
it.
challenge. I would say, Region, if you wanted to leave it here for them to continue experimenting on it, they could, but there's no guarantee that they would have it synthesized by the time
Yeah, I
you need
mean,
it.
I don't
It's
have
possible.
it
Who
with
is
me.
the god
Alexios
or
has
goddess
it.
of
I was
poison?
just curious.
Akate.
You won't believe it, Hecate.
Yeah.
Tekalit, no?
I'll take
Teclis
it.
is not a student of poison.
Fuck.
But
He's
would
like,
he have any advantage with it because of his?
Could I find someone in Nepeout because they poisoned my fucking mom?
I mean,
no.
technically it's resistant to poison, but that's
Oh my
it.
god, I'm sorry. Can I find someone in Nepheo because they poisoned my fucking mom?
But is there anything else, Region, that you'd like to do?
No, I would
Is
just like
Ryujin,
to. Sorry, go ahead.
like, is Ryujin like estranged cousin to like the royal family?
Basically,
He's like
yeah.
related but not related, but like
Yeah, he's the half brother. Yeah,
he's like, hey.
he's the half brother and half cousin. It's all very confusing.
It's
half
also
son.
Daemon Tar-
It's
Daemon
Greek
Targaryen.
mythology.
So
Yeah.
you know how there's a Facebook called "Their Family Tree is a Wreath."
Yep.
No.
Well, if you
Sweet
think
Home
about
Alabama starts playing in the
it,
background.
Theseus-
I mean,
His
Triea
mom-
is both Theseus's daughter and sister. Okay.
Yeah, sister daughter.
Oh, I never thought of
Wait, so
that.
all of them are siblings.
Oh, I
Basically.
hate that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Anyway.
Weird.
But only one of them isn't
I hate
royal.
that.
Yeah.
But we subscribe to
And
the
it's
Percy
me.
Jackson theory that it's not actually DNA. It's
Yeah.
just
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Keeping up with the Poseidonians. All right. All right. So, Region, you spend your 2 days in Athens. You catch up with Cassandra, and you catch up with the One Smote, and everyone is
Oh.
doing their part, but
I
everyone
wanna
is
ask
concerned.
Cassandra a
Yeah,
question.
absolutely.
So I want to ask Cassandra if they got their tattoos from that person that we met.
Interesting. She goes, it was so long ago now, but yes, it was some man in the Frostlands, paper white skin. Yes,
Was it 30,000 gold?
it was quite expensive. Yes,
Oh, Jesus.
that was where I got one of mine, but I've gotten several other tattoos from other people. Yes.
so pricey.
Oh, yes, they are. And they're a very rare form of magic. Yes. Do you want
yeah. I do, but I don't have the money for that.
one? You shouldn't have bought a boat.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine. Did you have the boat before the tattoos? Am I doing this in the right order?
Yes, I had the boat before the tattoos. I got
I'm on
the
the right
tattoo
track.
to match the Tromokrates aesthetic.
I am
But, like,
weak.
in her defense, also, the boat was kind of given to her.
That's true.
All right. So I mean, we're on the right track.
free
It's
boat.
Yeah. Alright. So, Region, you have that time. That brings us finally to Anura. Anura, you're heading to the Acmonian Wood.
Yes.
Can I read your
Okay.
fortune before you go?
I
That's
mean,
fun.
do you have the stuff to do it?
I do have a tarot card in front of me.
Let's do
I
it
have
then!
a deck
Yay!
of tarot cards, and what they'll
Are they
say
still
we'll
blank?
never know.
They're
Are they
still
still
blank.
blank? Oh, no, God, no.
It's
If I
over a
bought a-
blank card.
I don't know anything about tarot. I mean, I have the
You
deck,
have
but I'm
no-
not particularly good at it.
It's just
Oh,
the
They're
fool
just-
3 times.
I know it in real life, not in game.
The fool, the
That's-
moon, and I don't know.
We'll pull 3
Hangman.
cards on Anora's adventure, their dad, maybe some love life. No.
I mean, do you pull them or I pull them? I know people.
Are you
do
gonna
it
pull?
different
Would
ways.
you like to pull them through my screen?
Yes.
Pick a card.
Which
Top left
card feels
corner.
Right. I'll pick this card.
This one spoke to me. Pick another one.
I'll run my hands over it. You know that scene? Oh God, this is so obscure. Because no one liked the movie. In the City of Bones, and like the
I love
No.
the City of Bones.
You
Don't
know, like
speak
when
to
Lily,
me.
you know, like when
Why
she
don't
like
you just
when
say-
Clary runs her hand over and the card sticks to it, like that happens.
Why don't you just say the number of cards? One between this, and you can literally
There's-
pick them.
Do you
No.
see how many cards this is? This keeps going. This is a lot of cards.
All right, and then I'm gonna do the same thing and just like pick a random card instead of doing like the letting it lift up to my hand thing.
Okay, but to be fair, the movie was trash. The TV show was okay, and the books were phenomenal. The
Yeah.
prequel, the sequel, and the ongoing series that's still happening.
Yes, but all I
Cassandra
can think
Clare,
of was that scene
Wow.
where the card lifts up to her hand and like Lily Collins, you can just see like her actual shock and not the character's shock.
I'm a
Amazing.
geek.
All right.
Well, you got they're otter themed. So
I
you
love
got
that.
the Queen of Cups. Look, she's a little otter enjoying some tea, and you can't see it, but that's okay. You got the Temperance has a butterfly. I love butterflies. And then the the Knights of Cup. And then the Temperance and the Knights of Cup are upside down.
So what does that mean?
Oh.
It means death, death, and instantaneous death.
I'm trying
I don't know.
That's
How about we
down. I
continue
used
with
to
the
know.
Anora and
Hold on,
I'll
which
like
ones were
read
upside down
on
again?
the Temperance and the Knight of Cups.
Okay. Temperance.
Why'd I have my little booklet right here?
I used to know them. Temperance reverse can also be a sign you sense that something is off in your life, creating stress and tension.
Well, the
father's
Queen
stolen
of Cups,
Tartarus.
which is your first one, says that you should slow down and taste your food. Being busy is so overrated.
That's not normally what these actually mean, but the Knight of Cups reverse can describe someone who has an overly romantic approach to life and is
No.
disconnected from reality.
The Knight of Cups.
That's what I said.
I heard 9. I was like, 9?
No, Knight of Cups.
He's so cute. Look, he's drinking a little tea.
So I basically drew 2 pretty bad cards for me, and one's iffy.
Well, so
Great.
let's
I
just
guess
be
we'll
glad
see
it
how
wasn't
this
a death
ritual
of
goes.
many things. Okay.
All right, so I assume you're wild shaping to go to the Sisters of the Moon and then transporting via plants to the Acmonian Wood. All right.
Jimmy,
Yes,
the deck of many things, does that exist in this world?
of course.
And if
I
so,
want
how
it.
likely is it that my tarot deck is a deck of many things? Because I'll pull a card right now.
How likely
all
is it
that.
that a deck of many things is in Evio's shop?
Listen,
I mean, who knows?
Evio the Bronze, Elia's.
I'll
That's
trade
like
my
an
left
80
eye for
She
it, Sammy.
definitely does have one, and we have enough money for a deck of many things now.
All right,
I
I would
want that
like I
stupid-
would like to message Evie.
You have
Pull a
deck
card.
of
Girl.
Dude, I have the dragon stone. I can do it. I can talk to it. I can be like, hey.
Tell her I want to know where the baby of stone is. Give me that damn pearl. What was it? The
Alright.
pearl of worthiness or some bull?
What?
The pearl. The like
Oh,
wizard
yeah.
stone thingy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember
all
that
right,
scared
so
me sometimes.
Anura, when you appear out of this tree, you find yourself in an extremely familiar environment. You spent a lot of time with these hunters, with these druids, with these sisters. You see their tents, some on the forest floor, others high up in the trees, but they all turn as you come through the tree, and you see, with her headdress proud, the leader of this tribe, the leader of the moon's stars, with her starry cloak billowing behind her. Anura, it is good to see you again.
It's been a while.
Indeed. Why have you returned?
A lot has happened. I'm ready to undergo the ritual.
I see. Well, the sun is setting. Let us wait until the moon is sitting proud. We can begin. Come, bathe yourself, prepare yourself for the ritual.
Alright.
So, there's a river nearby that you know. So you can take the time to cleanse yourself in the cool, refreshing, crystal clear waters as the sun sets. And you see it is a crescent moon tonight that is hovering right over the forest. And there's a clearing in these trees, you know, that allows you to see the moon at all times. As you walk back to camp, you see that they have set up for the ritual. There is now a line of torches leading you to a small tent on the forest floor that you have seen here before, but you've never seen anyone go in. You know that it is designed specifically for this ritual. All the other moon stars are lined up along that torch path, creating this sort of walled tunnel for you to walk through. They all have elements of face paint on, little markings and lines, and as you pass through them, they each dip their thumbs in a small bowl in their hands, and they slowly put just one. You see they have this sort of like white paint, natural paint, in these bowls, and they just take their thumbs and place them, one thumb from each of them, on your body, so that by the time you've gotten to the mouth of this tent, you are covered in these white dots. You are covered in these stars. As you see the chief staring, waiting at that entrance, she has a larger bowl in her hands, and she goes, "Place your gems in the bowl."
I'll take all the gems out and put them in the bowl.
One by one, you pluck them in. When you're done, she looks a little confused.
I'll pull out my little, because I have a little item that's supposed to be my connection to Artemis, correct?
Yeah.
I will pull out the item and show it to her. In the trying times we've been through, I've been to every biome. But due to some circumstances I can't control in the Frostlands, I could not find a druid, but I saw how the biome works. I asked Artemis if it was time for me to undergo the ritual, and she said yes.
She just silently looks at underbrush in its sheath and nods to it, motioning for you to add underbrush to the bowl as well.
Okay. I will take underbrush out and I very much so am scared, have a white knuckle grip on it for a moment, my hands shaking, and I'll look down at it and then look back up to her, and while looking at her, place underbrush in the bowl.
She nods, motions for you to follow her as she ducks into the tent with the bowl.
Really quickly, I want to turn around and nod to everyone who is behind me, because they were all the people who helped me start this journey before I walk in.
Okay. It is a small place in here, but there are blankets on the ground, so you can feel comfortable, but there's still spots that have open soil. You can see the grass peeking through. She places this bowl in the center of the tent and motions for you to sit opposite her as she sits. What you are about to experience is a unique journey, one that precious few have gone on. Here, you will see the goddess. She will see you. She will determine what is a proper prize for you. What is your reward? May the stars look upon you as you look upon them. She places her hand above the bowl, and around the lip of the bowl, flames, sort of covering the circumference of the bowl, but not harming anything inside. She nods to you and leaves you alone in the tent. As you sit, smoke beginning to fill your senses. You smell the fresh forest air, fresher than you've ever sensed it before. You close your eyes and you breathe it in. And then the smoke clears from your nose. You open your eyes. And the tent is gone. The clearing is gone. You sit in the middle of a grand forest. Get up, child. Anura. Get up.
I'll stand.
You see Huntress Alexandra.
Hi.
Hi.
Never thought I'd actually get to this point. It's kind of surreal.
Do you know where you are?
And it's the Beast Wilds, right?
It is the Beast Lands, but I actually
Beast
like
Lands,
the
sorry.
Beast Wilds better, so I'm changing it. I'm changing it for the book.
Okay, because I keep saying Beast Wilds.
We'll say they're interchangeable. That's fine.
Okay.
You are. Do you know what else is here?
A lot of things. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking about specifically.
It's true. A lot of things. You're special. You know this. We've gone over this. And so your reward will come in multiple parts. I welcome you to this place. And I want you to feel comfortable here. So, I'm going to assign you an objective. Much like you've gone to other biomes and found their unique creatures. There are creatures here that are nowhere else in the cosmos. Give them a look. Fight them if you must. Hunt them. It will always replenish their numbers. Of course, a huntress is nothing without a hunting party. While they cannot join you on this, perhaps a version of them can. And you see out of the ground your party. Now, none of you guys are actually here. You are essentially Anura's idea of you. And yet, you will be playing yourselves in this sequence. But you all
That's
appear.
So cool.
She goes, oh, and one more thing. There's someone here who has longed to meet you. I believe he knows a friend of yours. And you see someone who looks oddly familiar. Only because Adagio described him. He's much older now. He looks more like the drawing that Adagio had made. He just goes, hi, I'm a friend of Adagio's.
Amy, which friend is it? I need more than that.
You know which fucking friend it is.
This is my childhood friend. This was written into my backstory.
Is this
This
who
is-
I think it is?
I know
Yes.
his name.
It's Reed! Can I just turn to him? He's been looking for you for years.
Yeah, I know. I hope you can tell him that I'm sorry.
Not your fault.
I think you'll see soon that this place is amazing. And I was somehow miraculously chosen at a really young age. And I was chosen to come here to live and hunt and be in the presence of the goddess at all times. And that's a choice that's before you too.
I wanna, as he's saying this, turn to look at Huntress Alexandra. I know what you mean about being chosen at a young age, and it's one of the greatest gifts the cosmos has ever given me, and the fates have ever given me. No one can blame.
So, I'm not going to be hunting with you. This is your journey, and you're here for your reasons, but if you need anything, give me a holler. I won't be too far away, okay?
Yeah, I'll let him know you're okay.
Good.
I'll
We're all
accept it.
family here, so welcome.
Yeah.
Huntress Alexandra just looks at you. Well, go on. Once you've seen all you've wanted to see and hunted all you've wanted to hunt, just sit down and pray, and I'll find you for whatever comes next.
I don't think I can ever thank you enough for leading me, or making that deal with Urania to have her lead me to you.
I can't thank you for what you've given me. But don't thank me too soon. There's a creature here that you might find quite fearsome.
Listen, the first time I died was a minotaur.
This one's a bit larger than that. I've called it something uncomprehensibly long, so I've just shortened it to T-Rex. It's quite extraordinary.
Sammy,
Son
I
of a
love this
bitch.
so much.
We about to get you some hit points. Oh my god.
Can we pretend that, okay, I'm assuming I had a short rest before I went into the ritual, right?
When you come in here, you are fully long rested.
Holy shit, so like I got all my spells back and everything?
Yeah, you're in a dream state right now.
Oh my god, so do I actually just hit long rest and remember what I had gone, or what?
No, you just hit long rest and you're long rested.
That's so fucking cool!
Yeah.
So do I need to roll Wheel and Woe?
We'll do that next session, because we're gonna end it right here, right as you realize that you are in a forest of dinosaurs and mystical creatures and who knows what else. There is so much to experience here in Artemis's playground that we're gonna come right back to that next session. This is something that I have been planning since literally session 1, Anna. Now imagine if this is when you discovered that Huntress Alexandra was Artemis this whole time. That would have been amazing.
I'm sorry! I did kind of agree with that, but I got Underbrush out of that deal, so you've had
That's
fun
true.
with
No,
that.
this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I love it. I'm very excited to see what happens with this. So we're gonna end it there so that we can really take the time that we want to take with it. So you can explore this other plane of existence. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I had a lot of fun tonight. So come back next week, 7:30 Eastern. We'll be right back with episode 21. This episode, if you missed any of it, will be up on YouTube on Saturday. So you can catch up and be totally fine for Monday's next episode. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Goodbye.